be working so long as I don't. Okay. Theoretically,
What?
it's live. Twitch.
Where are we?
We're on the other side, my boy.
Okay.
Not ready
My
to see
stream's
God.
live. Let's see if YouTube's working.
Yeah. I'm waiting on YouTube to show up.
If YouTube's working. Oh, it looks like YouTube's live. Oh.
Yay!
I think it's working.
Huge if true.
Can someone real quick check?
Huge if true.
Rush stream, yeah. What's that?
I see restream, but I
see
don't
that?
see any of us or any of the pop-ups or anything. It still says waiting for sequence break on my end.
Both are live to me.
I see the YouTube intro live chat screen.
There's that. Here,
Hey,
I'm
you're
gonna
Tali.
real quick just do a
Hold
stream
on, definitely
announcement.
gonna have to mute this now.
At SB Streams. How did Cat do that? How did Cat do this?
There we go. I just have to close it down and bring it back up.
How has Cat done? I actually have no idea how they.
On people in YouTube chat says that all of our audio is doubled.
Oh, excellent. Why?
Alright, hold on, I'm gonna have to boot up YouTube in another tab on my computer as opposed to my phone.
Why though? Wait,
Because I
just
can't
on
mute my
YouTube?
phone.
What?
Both sides are double broken.
Oh, I
I'm hearing it
see
in
what's
both on Twitch
happening.
and YouTube.
That's stupid.
Everyone calm down. Everyone freaking control yourselves.
Hello.
Fine, I've got 100,000
What?
million points to spend.
Hey, there we go.
On.
Good.
Yeah, there's two YouTube streams for some
Good.
reason.
There's two YouTube streams for some reason?
Yeah,
I
one says
only-
waiting and one.
You can delete the one that says waiting. That was probably because of. Love you, Jared, but I think that was you.
Alright, bye bye.
Alright, but boy.
Let me double check audio.
Yeah, so
audio's
for
good.
those who are watching on YouTube, this is also currently being live on my Twitch chat. All the chat that's going to be showing up in the video is the Twitch chat, because we can't save that, but we're going to be saving the YouTube stream, so if you want to post in either chats, it will be saved.
I'm sorry.
Barring all issues.
Twitch
Great.
TOS dictates that we can't merge chats. You're gonna have to choose one or the other. You want to go to like the public, like open chat, or you want to come to like the YouTube, like speakeasy?
YouTube, did you just say YouTube speakeasy? I love that. That's great.
I don't think either of these can be classified as speakeasies at this point, man.
Oh no.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, there are 17 folks on Sequence Break and 10 on mine. Looks like it is going and people can see it.
You gonna
Looks
be
like
on
we're
both
good.
sketchy? Typical fence sitter behavior. I woke up today and chose violence. Let's go.
I just want to be able to see the chat on YouTube. Hold on. This is problematic. Mikey's causing chaos as normal.
Yeah.
Someone
Just
played
double
great
checking
and
my
that
audio
really
is not
jump scared me.
Yeah.
Just checking.
Great!
Oh, that was me.
Oh, wait, wow, of course it was you!
Yeah.
Twitch bot sounds vibrant. Okay, good. Okay, yeah. No, I just read Angel's minute like thing way too late. This place or the other place? Yeah, if you go onto my Twitch and you have points, you can put sound effects in if you really want to be an asshole. Anywho, we're good to go whenever you want to go.
Yeah, cool.
Hello.
Can get this up here. We do this. All right, hi everybody. Welcome to the Learn Mortality Q&A. Hello, I will be your host. I'm Fajungle. I'm the Jared.
Holy shit, Cat donated to put a fucking... Oh my god.
What'd Cat do?
The second you said your announcement, the Cat's fucking subscription went over your face like Mike Wazowski.
It's beautiful. Anyway, we're here to answer some Ask questions and talk about things. We have some funny polls up at the top right that y'all voted for on the fan Discord. Thank you for voting. Thank you for your question submissions. What I'm going to do is I have basically made a list. I've combined questions. I have 86 repeating questions and stuff like that. So if I don't say your name, please don't feel bad. It's just a lot. There was a lot of questions. There was 235 total questions. Not including questions I also have off to the side for my own wants and needs. Same with the other players. And even if Tali has questions, Tali, you are included. Be praised.
That's me. What, you mean I can ask the fans questions? I can turn this back on them? I can ask them why?
You're given 3.
Oh shit, okay, I gotta save these for a good moment then.
You're given 3 reverse Uno cards for you, Tali, for when you want to go tell the chat why.
Tell the chat that I'm screaming.
Tell the chat that I'm screaming. Good.
So anyway, I started screaming.
So anyway.
I started streaming.
Yeah. Let me get into the Roll20s because I can do this stuff proper. Because I was paying attention.
So many people watching right now. This is so cool. Hey everyone.
Yeah, look at all this stuff. Look at all this. Look at all
of you. Look at all you smiling faces.
Non-binaries and others.
YouTube's 20 seconds behind. Wow. Okay. YouTube chat, get owned. You're the lesser of the two chats.
There's always room for more.
Oh, thank you, dude. Number 2. Welcome.
All right, I'm gonna open up with my favorite question.
Oh, hey, before we start, do we want to just like real quick chill each other and stuff? Because
yeah, absolutely.
I think this is our first time talking candidly outside of the LM on sequence break. I know we've done obviously I stream a lot, but like not everyone on the YouTube channel might not know that.
Yeah, Tali streams. Tali does some really fun and very very engaging streams with a whole bunch of cool people. You get to see all these plushies that you see here popping up.
It's true.
Including
also,
my little
you got
chair.
one. I made a little one for you. I don't know if you noticed. You were a pup cat. It was made in 5 seconds, but it was really funny.
I guess since we're chilling, hey everybody on the YouTubes and the Twitch, go to the fan Discord if you have not joined. It's a pretty cool place. We have lots of pretty cool people and pretty cool events.
It's where you can participate in polls like the ones that are on screen.
You can enjoy many such activities like not being on fire.
It's true.
I enjoy that pretty much every day.
Not running left to right screaming.
Because I know there's a lot of YouTube only watchers, and just come over and say hi. You can come and lurk, it's okay.
You can lurk.
Do you have
We'll
a
always
link?
appreciate you.
Or should I post one? I could post one.
For what?
Here you guys go.
Oh, nice.
You want to check out her channel? Here it is.
Thanks, gamer.
Whoa, look at that gamer.
But yeah, I'm sure y'all know who we are at this point. If you somehow stumbled upon the stream without knowing who we are, go watch LM first. We're gonna be answering a bunch of spoilery questions here.
Yeah, absolutely. There's gonna be so many spoiler questions. So many. Pretty much all of them.
Including starts with the first question. Also, I want to mention I've got the game open, so we can go literally anywhere and look at literally anything at any point.
Oh, fuck. I didn't even boot up Roll20.
Yeah. I have booted up, yeah, I'm gonna boot up Roll20 in case we can see all the things.
Can't wait for me opening all these tabs to absolutely crash my internet.
Don't worry, Mikey, I will only ask your questions when you're crashed.
Fantastic.
You guys also get to see my perspective as the GM and what I have to put up with on a daily.
Yeah, you get to see all the guns hidden on the GM lair.
This is actually the version I set up for speedrunning, so it's pretty cleansed. But, you know.
Alrighty, if anybody else want to shill or we could start.
Hang on, wait a minute. Are you on the intro screen?
I am.
Mm-hmm.
I can show myself. I'm a cool artist. That means I can do shit like this. Check this out. Here's Elvisar.
Oh my god. Holy penguin.
Whoa.
I like that you're using the snow as part of his eye.
There he is.
I've still got the spinny wheel of death.
If you weren't familiar with my talents before, here's a little taste, baby.
Oh, actually, yeah, that's a really fun thing. Meefin's in chat right now. He's the guy that's organizing the speedrunning and all of the homebrew and stuff. Shout out to that guy, he's pretty cool.
I drew LSR holding a beer.
Thanks, Duncan.
Alright. Last check before we start.
I'm good.
Let's...
Got my water. I'm ready to talk. Got my chill jazz.
Time for the number one question everybody wants to know. This is a question for everyone. What's your favorite?
I like
Duncan,
sweaters.
what's your favorite?
A scrimp?
Scrimp? All right. Mikey, what's your favorite?
Oh shit, we going round robin.
That's a good question. I have no idea.
Wait, what favorite what?
Just
Yes,
favorite.
what's your favorite?
I think he's fucking with us.
I have lots of favorites. I have scrimp favorite.
My
Scrimp
favorite is
probably
me. I have a lot of
seafood
self-love.
Oh my god. I like
mean,
women.
that's
Moving on.
good.
Women good. This is true.
That's a healthy favorite, I think.
Yourself or women? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if mine's healthy.
Either one.
Amy? Good choice.
I think
All
you
right.
just unlocked the competition with your first question, my dude.
No, I just wanted to prep
It's
you all
good.
for all the stuff we're going through.
Cold open. I like it.
It's cold,
Alrighty.
it's brutal.
Cold open done. Here's a question from Angel.
Oh shit.
For Tali.
What?
When originally pitching the game to people, what did you tell the people and what changed about your game after getting the pitches back?
Oh, that's a fascinating question. The first thing I told people was that, oh goodness, well, there was technically a pitch before the final game. The first pitch was I wanted to play a game in the smallest possible location. I wanted to challenge myself to potentially run a tabletop that took place in one room. And I mentioned this to everyone and I said, hey, do you guys want to play a game set on a Mars colony? That's where it started. And back in time, Mad as Hell was much closer to, I don't remember his name, but the villain from Osmosis Jones was the inspiration for Mad as Hell, because I wanted to have something with the same level of menace as that guy.
The virus guy with the dread?
So yeah, Act 2 was the first Mad as Hell. Whenever I say Act 2 is the first Mad as Hell, that's why. But at the time, I really was like, inspired by that idea of, okay, I want to isolate the party as hard as possible, so leaving is not an option. Thrax? His name is Thrax? That sounds right. Okay. And what I said to the players was, hey, do you want to play this? And no one wanted to. In fact, Wesley actively said he didn't like the idea because he doesn't like sci-fi, so I was like, okay, I'll not do this then.
Idea.
You weren't in the server at the time.
I don't think I was even. I think you pitched this so far ahead that I wasn't even a part of the server at the time.
It was a long time ago.
I don't
Because-
recall. Sorry.
No, I said it in a voice chat.
Oh, that's why I didn't see it.
Either you weren't here yet or it was a while ago, but then what I actually told the people for playing is ironically exactly what's in the... Oh, my goodness. Thanks for the sub, Blue. Much appreciated. Funding goes directly to Tali.
For Tali and all Tali needs.
I like being able to have food. What I told the parties was exactly what's in the module. Here, I can even read the message, I've still got it. LM's probably gonna happen soon, probably before part 3. I'm thinking of running concurrently with Hypnochrome and Recess. That didn't happen, hilarious. JoJo's will be about 10 sessions in length, and I'm taking 4 to 5 players. That's what I said at first. LM takes place at the Isotiller Antarctic Research Base in the year 2150. The scientists at the site found themselves in dire straits. For the past few months, come nightfall, the base has been assailed by hordes of mutated, sometimes unseen wildlife. The beasts leave come sunrise, but now as Antarctica is quickly approaching its polar night, a 6-month-long period of darkness, the base sends out a distress call to anyone who could possibly help. You are the respondents to the SOS appointed by the Star Road Foundation as their line of defense against the oncoming eternal night. The other things I said is that your PCs can be pretty much anything, sciencey types, but if you want to play as like an NPC or side character that's been around before, that's cool, but preferably new characters. And yeah, that's what I told them. 10
Yes.
sessions. Everyone's making fun of me for that. I know, look guys, Originally, it was also going to be 8-hour runs, but then we decided on 4 hours because it was more fun. So technically, 20 sessions
I love this
would be the goal.
game.
So really, it only became 16 of the initial 10. So it's not as crazy as it sounds.
Cope.
Don't cope me.
34 episodes. I am unbitten man.
Anyway, yeah. I hope that answers your question. That was fun to talk about.
Yeah. Here's one for the
Scope.
Honestly, I've always assumed whenever someone gives a estimate in any, like, here's how long I expect the campaign to happen. I expect it either to be done in half that time or double it.
Cannot spell scope without cope.
Happen on the schedule.
I always pitch a game before I have any of the game done. So the pitch is oftentimes a lot different from the final product.
Right.
Because obviously I'm not going to spend an entire year making a game if no one wants to play it. I'm going to keep it simple. Listen here. Y'all don't get it. Y'all don't get it.
Ellen is wonderful and you're getting praised, Tali.
I know. I'm having fun with it.
Here is a question for the players.
Oh.
What was the players' reaction to the whole concept of the frostbittens as a whole, as reveal? So essentially, when the idea of the frostbitten were revealed, how did everybody feel?
I liked it. It was a good change. Usually when I'm playing in this rule set, the JoJo system, I'm used to fighting stand users, but getting to fight monsters for a change. It's
that
a
was
nice
very fun
change
for
in
me.
pace.
I haven't played as much JoJo's as you guys, so it kind of was more of a, these are a different type of monsters that has different, like, conundrums that I'm used to, because I play a lot more D&D. I've played a lot of D&D, and I haven't played that much JoJo's, so just seeing, oh, it's monsters, and then having to keep yanking Larry out of the mindset of, it's a monster, kill it, even though that's kind of what his mindset was most of the game.
I found it very refreshing because at first I was like, oh, it's going to be funny little dudes, and the funny little dudes might have stands or stand-like abilities. And then a Wild Things bit encore, and I was like, oh, yes. Yeah, it was a nice change of pace for what I usually both run and play in. It was a really cool concept. And then after we find out that, the frostbits in our people.
Yeah, being also like I've only said like what I felt about it from like a system standpoint, but like in like immersion in the universe, my first impressions were, oh, this is cool. Like being attacked in like this little small remote corner of the world by these fusions of like animals that are both like artificial and biological felt very Mother 3-esque. If anyone's familiar with that game.
Hell yeah.
A small little obscure indie RPG called Mother 3.
Never played it, but like, yeah, BioWarrior type weird fusion amalgam, like almost like a rat. Could this be a wrath of nature at the beginning?
Has science gone too far?
That was an early thing for me.
A shark made of ice and scrap metal, a bunch of ice-covered birds, and a bunch of dogs made of ice shooting ice.
I think
so it's
when,
kind of like, is this a weird wrath of nature thing?
I was trying to think of that also too earlier, was the whole hive mind theory of it being like a whole natural response to people, because when John Lennon had a bite taken out of him, it was half a kilometer away.
That was what I wanted it to look like, so I'm actually very glad it did appear that way. I wanted them all to be themed heavily around the elements so that it felt like they were natural, when in reality they were natural only by nature of being made by humans. Well, humans I say with a heavy air quote, but
To be fair, I don't think Larry ever said that, because one of the first ones he saw sketchy was the fucking birds.
But I'm glad, especially Mikey, I'm glad that you enjoyed it, as people know me as the I fucking despise D&D person, so like to also be able to be fun for the D&D player is cool to me. Because I also I love JoJo, but the fact that you can't, not that you can't, but I feel like it really allows the reckless abandon when what you're fighting is more monstrous. At least that's just me. I like when people make crazy choices.
I do prefer the more monstrous side of stuff. I say looking into the far distance.
I guess I just like that too. I like having the monster. I like there sometimes just being a monster, as opposed to having to try to sympathize, empathize, or figure out what's going on in this person's head over here and figure out his stand and all that. Sometimes I just want to see, there's the monster, kill it.
Larry just wants to put it down. Larry just wants to put the dog down.
In one perspective, I despise when anyone says that there has to be a correct solution in a tabletop. I am not playing a tabletop to be the good guy. I don't want to make the choices that I myself would make. My fantasy is to embody a character and experience a perspective I myself would never do. So, I'm not going to be the good guy in every situation. I'm going to do what my character wants to do. And I think LM just encouraged that, which is cool.
It's very fun.
You start by beating these guys up, and then eventually you get to the point of like, well, hold on a second.
I'm not saying this was bad. I'm saying this was very fun. I'm saying all of that. I'm saying there's that one aspect of D&D that I do sometimes find very simple and satisfying that you don't find in some other games like JoJo's tends to, where everything in JoJo's is all these characters interacting, because it's almost always a character and his stand are interacting. And they're interacting
That
with
is
each other.
what I did.
And sometimes I don't want to do that while I'm playing. While I'm playing with my friends and role-playing and all that. Sometimes I just want to hit the stupid dragon with my sword.
That is what I ultimately did in LM2, so you got the best of both worlds, I think. When I think about any tabletop with characters interacting, the thing I will always hate is if the player characters try to force the friendship ending. That just always rubs me the wrong way. So I like that you went the route of, hi, I'm Larry Guns and Glory, I'm gonna shoot the child. Like, that moment was so fucking good to me still.
Yeah.
Oh, I love
Larry's gonna shoot the child! I fucking loved that, dude.
Larry, everyone's like, we're gonna save it, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this. Larry's like, I need to get everyone out alive. How can I get everyone out alive? I think the easiest answer is just kill Millie.
Choice.
Larry speedrunning us to bad ending 3 times in the series.
True.
I much like Tali is saying, I'm thinking strictly through the perspective of Larry, who is here, who is a soldier and is here to protect the base. As far as Larry knows, everyone who was in the base before they got on the plane at that moment was dead. Was functionally dead. The only thing he could get out was Lucifer, Seiko, and LSR. And he didn't even know if LSR was real at that moment. So it was himself, Seiko, and Lucifer, and that is the only people he cared about protecting at that moment.
At the end of the series,
so if I can protect them simpler by just offing Millie, I'll do it.
Duncan's perspective shifts entirely with LSR too. It was really
there's
fun
plenty
seeing
of LSR questions.
The first
how
time
he
Larry
went
killed
from
it.
like,
Anyway,
I want to
mentioned
protect
it.
everyone, directly to this specifically.
I mentioned in the epilogue that, yeah, by the end of the series, LSR was way more aligned with Larry than he was at the beginning. Which was really fun, because like throughout the series they were always butting heads.
There goes my internet.
I think my initial reaction. I think the first one I encountered was $5 steak. I can't remember exactly.
I think so.
Basically, steak was our first
My
encounter.
first reaction was, "Dear God, what is that fucking run?" That's really so. Like, hey, this is supposed to be a horror-themed game.
It's
Let's see what the enemies are like. Oh God, what is that? I need to get away from this. Holy shit, these are interesting. But holy fuck, run.
Speaking of Seiko running for her life, let's move on to the next question. This is a question for both Amy and Tali. They're two questions, but they're posted together. Tali, how many times did you resist the urge to turn Seiko into a red mist?
Okay, this is what you gotta understand. I don't have that urge. I have to fight myself to have that urge. I don't actively try to kill people. I just hate going against my own rules. So the urge you're hearing me resisting is me being like, okay, this is rules as written, this is rules as written, but Amy wants to live here and probably doesn't deserve to die. Don't punish her, don't punish her, don't punish her. That's the mindset.
And here's the
really
second
funny.
part of that. Amy, how long did you expect Seiko to live?
Honestly, I expected to live maybe 1 or 2 sessions. At any point, I was fine with Seiko dying. It would be my own fucking fault. The fact that I got away with the shit that I got away with and Seiko lived to the end is fucking astounding.
I like to do a combination of, 1, you can strategize and figure it out like a video game, and 2, you can just follow your gut and have fun playing your character. And Amy, 24/7, was just following Seiko and making horrid mistakes like fighting the green guy full on. And I think I was only really willing to kill you in those situations if for some reason, like, it was just unreasonable, you know? Like, but
Like, there
most
was
of
no
those
way
scenarios,
I was just gonna fucking die here.
most of the scenarios weren't insta-kill scenarios. They were just that the dice were high, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna be like, I kill Seiko here.
Seiko is, at their core, a risk-reward type character.
You know what I am gonna kill a character for, though? Elisar
Yeah.
bum rushing an airplane.
I remember that.
Man, Tali, you are wonderful at these
I
segues
can't
into the
argue
next
with that.
questions.
God.
Can't argue with that.
I don't believe they were explicitly stated in game, but during your first and second Learn New Mortality, Duncan, what were the different permanent flaws for Elisar, spelled Alistair?
Well,
When he died both times,
well, hang on a second.
because there was the fire one. I know that.
Hang on a second. Let's not get it misconstrued here. Larry was the first one to bite it. Okay.
This is
I
true.
think they're talking about
Okay.
pacemaker incident.
Yeah.
That didn't kill him, though.
That didn't kill him.
Didn't kill
Oh,
me.
I love the pacemaker
First
incident.
one was the airplane.
Yep, that
But
was
you're
his
asking
first
about the
death.
permanent flaws. Let me actually go and check.
Yeah, when you Watt-skied yourself and when you got hit with a plane.
Amelia Earhart's airplane. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Amelia Earhart
Guys,
instance.
please,
Oh, don't
please,
worry,
please,
we'll get into
please,
that.
if
That
you're
one's
not
coming
familiar
up.
with the series, go watch it now.
I love it. We just like
Okay, where's my character
entirely
sheet?
figured out
Hang
what
on.
2525 did that instant. Like, oh,
I throw a plane, everyone immediately gets it. How are you guys psychic? That honestly baffled me in the moment. I was like, I didn't
So,
give it
first
away. They're just
that,
smart.
We hit pulling out an airplane with it pulling out the Titanic.
Okay,
And as
Yeah,
soon as
which
we
is
realized
true.
that was it.
It did pull out the Titanic, and you got that.
As
But
soon
like,
as we
damn.
realized it was that, we realized, oh, it's some sort of historical thing. Oh, it pulled
So-
out what other plane went missing? Is there any specific planes that gone missing? I don't know. Amelia Earhart went missing over the Pacific.
Oh,
That
we'll
could be
get
her.
we'll get to that soon. Let's let Duncan answer his
You can
question.
tell he's just nervous, sweating in the corner, like, yeah, totally.
Nah, it's good. This gives me time to look it up. Okay, so every single time you get resurrected, not only are you going to be taking just a regular, like, memory loss flaw, but you also get to choose a permanent flaw. And I think it was fitting for getting killed by an airplane crash for Elisar to take a general debuff in the presence of fire as part of a natural instinct sort of flaw coming through. Like maybe more of his penguino side is shining through, and he has like a natural instinctual fear of fire. So you may notice, like from that point forward, Elisar refused to be in her room with like an open flame for like the rest of the series.
Yeah, I thought that was a cool character quirk. Because you're actually actively getting away from the heat source.
Which, of course, like given the mechanics of the game, is counterproductive.
Also, I think Act 3 was literally Firestorm always blowing shit up
It was so good.
and making fire. So I was just like, I'm gonna stay away from Act 3.
Good. Was there
But
anything for the Watsky? Yeah.
For the Watsky, shoot, because that was such a big character change.
Mm-hmm.
God, that was such a cool
I think the
moment.
main sort of thing that I treated as the flaw in the Watsky scenario was like all the stuff going on with the character of the discrepancies between LSR and Circle and the Square Lazar. And of course, part of the changes with Circle and the Square Lazar was massively nerfing visions as an ability, no longer having it be able to stop time. Did I write down any flaws in the designated flaws in traits section of my character sheets? Nope.
That's okay. RP flaws are also really cool.
I think at that point we just decided putting you in the giant robot was a big enough change. We didn't fucking worry about it.
Getting
That's
the damn
fair.
robot all the time.
Yeah.
I also want to follow up here with you, Duncan, because I know there's a question in here. Did Watsky Delisar actually have an ability?
Watsky Delisar, that's very interesting. Me and Tali were talking about one that never got to come to fruition. But it would have led to a very interesting ending, not too dissimilar to the one that we got. But there might have been something else going on with a sort of new stand that Watsky Delisar would be developing.
Okay, cool.
I think I mentioned it a little bit in one of the episodes that he had a new project he was working on that would fix everything. Tali, you remember what we discussed about that?
Yeah, it was in the epilogue. We talked
Was
very
that the There's a Time?
very in deep about it. There's a place.
There's a place,
There's a
that
place.
one. Yeah,
The happy ending. Yeah, I remember quite vividly. Here, you can fuck
Where-
around with these.
Yeah, we would basically be able to create an illusion that everything was doing okay. And basically, the idea behind it is that we'd be able to give the player characters, like Larry, Seiko, Lucifer, we'd be able to give them the conclusion that they would be satisfied with and send them back home. When in reality, nothing is fixed. In fact, everything is more fucked than it began.
Ah, beautiful.
It was that one.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool. I didn't know if that was still Squaresaw or anything. That's why I was like, But that's rad.
I don't know if that would have worked, because Larry at that point would have just double-checked everything with Haman breathing to try to double-check whether or not he is still, fixed. Because he sensed it differently when he used
That's
Haman
the idea.
on a different person under Millie's illusion.
Fixing up the
And
big
he was
dog.
already expecting that, no offense, Millennium, he was already thinking that the Reborn LSR was just another illusion
That's
like
the
Watsky.
idea. That's the idea that in that ending, like, of course you guys would suspect, like, wait a minute, this is going too well. What's going on? Something's wrong with this.
Fucking
Yeah,
rad.
what-
Larry's
play more
used
to
to his
that.
life falling apart and nothing getting fixed.
Alright. Cool. Let's go on to the next question. So this is a twofer for Tali. The first one I'm pretty sure is obvious. The second one is more fun. What happened to the Amelia Earhart corpse? I'm assuming it was just in the flesh pit.
Yeah, it was just in the flesh pit. I think that happened in the episode.
Yep. And did you actually have plans for resurrecting her? / I believe another question in here is, can corpses from 2525 be resurrected?
No, not at all. I know everyone was talking about the moral question, and I was internally trying my best to make it as hard for you to figure out that I was really not able to do that for you. So, while you guys were talking about that, I thought, man, that would be really funny. It's not how her ability works at all, but it would be really funny.
Yeah.
Crucially speaking, the main issue is that she was dead when she arrived. Second part, she's not part of Isotiller.
Yep, protocol be funky. All right, question for Mikey from Dragon Ranger 87.
Hey yo.
What was Soldiers Act 4 appearance and ability gonna be?
Yo, what's your question?
You'll have to find out some other time.
Fantastic. Next question.
Because unfortunately, I've already pitched to Tali where it can show up.
Yeah.
In which case, I'll go to another Dragon Ranger question. This one's for me. For Jared, what did Dean feel from Lucy during the Madder Than Hell attack? Short answer, bloodlust. Lucifer is really, really gung-ho about families being safe with each other, so having Millie die and how that would affect Bliss and everybody else who was there with Millie really got to him. So what Dean was basically seeing was the more villainous side of Lucy coming towards the front. The very enacting his own justice kind of thing.
We got there's a time, there's a place, and then Lucifer, there is a cost.
Here's a wonderful one for Tali.
Hiya.
How many children must die, woman?
I will never be satiated. Next question.
You have summoned childs to fight.
Another one from Miha. Who broke the window on day 1 and why? I'm assuming that's the window for the radio equipment and the one that smashed the radio equipment.
Oh, yeah. Who broke the window and why? Really funny. A wild thing broke that while getting in to try and get some flesh, realized it was not a good entrance point, and left. End of story. There was nothing.
That was such.
It was such a big point of contention,
series.
and nothing happened there, dude. There was no mystery. Y'all just took it and ran with it. Actually, this is a great point for me to mention one thing real quick. Two things I want to say which will probably answer everyone's questions really, really quickly when watching anything I do. Point number 1. I, as a narrator, and the characters I play are fallible. They make mistakes and they lie. Thing number 2, the things that the player characters say are not always true. So if the player characters go and say, "Oh, it was probably it was probably a House of Dreams that broke in and like stole a note," just because they said that does not mean that is what happens. And I have heard a lot of people that are just like, "Oh, this is what happened," because they hear a player character say something. And you gotta remember, those are guesses. They don't know.
Oh yeah, we were in the dark for a large majority of the beginning.
Like, the only reason I can say we were like, yeah, the House of Dreams probably broke in. I don't think we'd seen like one wild thing that whole time.
There was the two at the front.
That.
It was two out the front.
He just fucked off while we had to deal with $25.
There was gonna be
stake.
3 more. I had them at the
stake.
top if you guys had gone off to the airfield.
You know, we were in the dark for the entire ending too, because it was the polar night.
Point for me.
To everyone. What character did y'all want to see more of? Either just in character or just interacted with more? From Sketchy, not to be confused with the other one.
I could say all of them.
Dean, my beloved. Camilla, my beloved.
Dean. Yeah, definitely Dean.
Dean is
did anything
one
with
that I
Dean.
really wanted to see. Dean got to do one really, really cool thing at the beginning, and that was hit a frostbitten with a frying pan. It was wonderful.
That did happen. I forgot about that.
He resolve rushed. It was wonderful.
And then she just like did fucking like first aid on everyone every time something got fucked up.
Yeah, I think a big thing about interacting with a lot of people in Isotiller is that a lot of people don't realize this when it's just like, why didn't you do this stuff back to Isotiller at this time? We were gone from Isotiller for what?
Like half the series.
5 sessions before we returned with from Oblivious.
Something like that. It was a while.
Because we went down, we went to the Mad as Hell 3 fight, that happened. Then from there, the Good Doctor sent us to the Ice Labs. We did all the Ice Lab stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
We did
yeah,
the collapse.
that's something. That's a character personally I would have wanted more time to interact with. The Good Doctor.
Yeah, the Good Doctor was
Towards
great.
towards the end of normalcy with everything in that series, before the big one, I was setting up some really, really fun stuff with the Good Doctor.
But then the way it
I
happened.
would have wanted to explore more of that kind of uneasy alliance I was trying to create.
It was very fun
by,
every time you did
extorting
interact with him.
extorting him with that one blueprint for their suits.
Oh yeah.
That was great. Love doing that.
What was the line? It was something like, "Remember who came first." Like, he said it in such a menacing way to you as you were leaving. I fucking love that line.
Oh, it's so good.
Just like, fucking know your place, garbage is what he was basically saying. Not to mention, now of course, with all the LSR stuff coming
know about
out.
the LSR project?
Yes, he did.
Yep, okay.
There's a
Oh,
reason he
I was thinking
really
that.
hated LSR.
It's true, because if I remember correctly, the good doctor was very wary of.
I'm pretty sure in the flashback scene he said
What's
something
LSR?
along the lines of, "You don't know who your friends are. You should be more careful who you trust." Something like that. I was very heavily implying that he did not trust LSR. Of course, the good doctor himself is a very untrustworthy person, so you probably didn't think into it very much, which is great.
I was probably thinking he was implying Millie.
Yeah,
That's what Tali wants. us to
that's what I
think.
wanted.
Going into a
To be
follow-up
fair,
question.
also
to that.
isn't wrong LSR project running AI.
A lot of people had questions about the good here. I'll just do this one here from Luna. Theoretically, how would a good Doctor Final BBEG take place, and what would they do? I remember you mentioning this very briefly earlier, but there's a lot of people asking about good Doctor Final Boss.
Yeah, well, since there aren't any like concrete write-ups for it, I can tell you my idea.
Probably
Which is
have to
essentially-
avoid getting mad as hell.
No, not that. I'm talking about just the doctor. Hold on. See, for him to be a final boss, he would have to lose his sense of self. So something would have to happen to him. He would have to get drowned in the ocean and lose his, like, sense of self that way. Turn into a writhing mass of tentacles, become a monster. I don't know. There are options there. He's just not a good final boss, so I don't personally think I would ever make
He
him
just
one.
wants to
That's
find a
honestly
way
what
to
I thought
die.
happened when the flood happened and the door was bashed open from the
It
inside.
would be like, if you really wanted to make him a final boss, make it like one of his creations or something. That's the best
Father
way
of
you
Death
could probably do it.
complete.
Yeah. Well, Dr. Kraken, yeah, that's a good way to put it. Like, I didn't have any plans to make him a final boss, so...
My mana's fraud, even as a BBEG.
Fraud even as a BBAG. The hell do you mean by that?
He was always meant to be a bit of a mystery.
Oh, a phony? Oh yeah, no, definitely. I mean, his intent was not to fucking fight you. Why would it be?
He just wanted to die.
He wanted to die.
find
If you
a way
came
to
up and
die.
fucking tried to kill him, he would be like, finally!
Fucking do it. Make it
Yes,
stick.
please, make my day!
Please, if you have a way to make it stick, I'm willing to listen.
He wanted one thing and one thing alone.
Ah, the sweet embrace to the grave.
Here is a
Yay.
question from Blue. Tali, what did you envision the apocalypse level event relating to Professor Black Ice to be, i.e. the general scenario and cause for it?
Professor Black Ice is a wonderful concept. It's essentially... I really wanted to sell the idea that the AI are dangerous, especially if they were brought back to the continents. Because the current political structure is so mixed. We've got people that hate artificial intelligence, people trying to create them, people that have no idea what they are, people don't know what a soul is, don't know what stands are, some do know what stands are. It's a whole fucking mess. So imagine if an Antarctic research team came back and said, hey, you can live forever. Professor Black Ice is a creation of a mad scientist that wanted to do just that.
Hell, our characters didn't even fully understand what they were by the end of the series.
Imagine, if you will, that the good doctor got out and, like, started up the whole thing to kill all the unbitten. It's basically that. He represents a dystopian future where Millie and Oblivious were used for the destruction, well, not the destruction, sorry, the greater good of humanity, to very morally gray directions.
They basically
Caused
did what
a
Edward
lot of-
wanted to do at the end of
caused a
fucking
lot of
Star Road now, where they just replace
consequences.
everything with vampires, but instead of vampires, it's unbitten. Anyway.
Caused a lot of consequences. Yep.
It's the natural conclusion to the question of let's try and make people live forever. Uh-oh, people are living forever. You know?
Since they're right next to each other, I'm gonna be selfish. Hey, these are questions from me!
Whoa! That's not fair. Get off your little chair, little boy.
No,
Okay.
I'm comfy here.
Okay.
Why was the Mad as Hell series labeled as ambiguous instead of Glacier or above? Like, specifically the Mad as Hell series and the Good Doctor, all the more ambiguous, separate from everybody else.
Because Mad as Hell was not under any of the other classifications, even remotely. It was either a little pulpy mass of flesh with no discriminate size, like intestines rolled up, or it was a towering behemoth that could technically be counted as glacier size, but it's too thin to call it glacier, so it became ambiguous, and I wanted to use the weird stretchy 1x2 token, so ambiguous.
Fantastic. And my second rapid fire is, why couldn't Millie analyze the Emperor penguins? Whatever happened to the DJ through the Scouters?
Why couldn't she analyze them? Because they were a spatial distortion. So she was literally looking into a fucking wormhole, and light and space was being distorted, and Millie's perception is entirely light-based. So you get like, I don't know, a wormhole going on there, and she has no fucking clue what there is. There's nothing to get from it, yeah.
And like what was returning was scattered.
She was getting a spatial emptiness, and she couldn't really register anything there. It was basically her robotic sensors could not understand it.
Very fun.
Very nice.
We've already answered this question.
Whatever happened to the DJ anyway?
Some say that he's still jamming out. Back down in the pit.
Hank went down sitting at the bottom of the fucking flooded ocean, just like vibing because he did get destroyed
penguin.
by the wave.
The one penguin who lived.
This one is...
Just absolutely vibing.
He's just down there, put his headset on. Here's a question for everybody. Tali, I guess you can pick somebody if you want to talk about them, but do people want to talk about their character names? It rarely comes up, but I'd love to hear why people chose what they chose. Mine is very obvious. I am a Diavolo reference, so I just did another word for devil. I did Lucifer, and Lucy was an easy nickname. Just wanted to keep that in line. I liked the name a lot. It was good. Mikey.
The soldier of three armies is otherwise known as Larry Alan Torni. He changed his name to Larry Thorne when he joined the American Army. So I just stole his first name and his middle name from his Finnish name as his last name.
That's really cool.
For Seiko, so it was a mixture of things, really. So, I'm a huge Corpse Party fan, and I really enjoy Seiko from that series. So, I kind of named her after that. And she had a completely different last name. I was going to use it kind of one for one. But the song I chose was by the same artist as Goose's Stand. So Tali's like, hey, sisters? I was like, yes, let's do it.
You want a sister with the same stand artist as you? Here you go.
And so Seiko Waka. Fun.
Elisar's a little interesting because the name comes from the same Redbox album that I got my stand from, Visions. And Elisar is, for those unfamiliar with Lord of the Rings, the Elvish name for Aragorn. And I liked it because it came from the same album, and the song itself is sort of about escapism, finding comfort in a different reality where you get to be someone else, which I thought was fitting for naming one of my own characters. But yeah, a lot of the kind of like escapism talked about, discussed in that one song, kind of reminded me of the idealism I wanted to go for with Elisar's character and his perspective on the world.
Very fun, very fun. Tyler, is there anybody you want to talk about?
I want to also mention Duncan's last name.
Oh yes,
Oh, right,
Serpinski
yeah,
for
yeah, yeah,
Serpinski
yeah.
Fractal.
Serpinski. Thank you. Yeah, it's the same thing for Echelon Hexaflake, who, of course, is the predecessor to Elisar Serpinski. I don't remember where Echelon came from, though. I think it's
it was just a
cool name.
Cool name.
But yeah, Hexaflake and Serpinski are both fractals. Those are both names for different fractals.
I'm trying to
ooh.
think if there's any character
Welcome
I have
back.
with an interesting name. Well, that wasn't already explained, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys have any questions for me? Because I don't have anything to answer, really.
A lot of them are fairly
Ansler
easy
came
to
from a
connect to the
dream.
reference.
I love that story.
Oh, I'll talk about that one.
He only exists because I had a dream of a guy trapped in an ice golem. And in the dream, I played tic-tac-toe with the guy in the ice golem while asking him questions about the game. And he said his name was Ansler, and I was like, okay, you're going in my game. That's
a great name to just have spontaneously come up in a dream.
Yeah, Ansler wanted into the plot, so I put him there. This is how I get quite a few of my characters. Like, there was a character, Kevra Gladys, that was in Project Scarf, which one of the songs was used here. She came to me in a dream.
Also, aim to you. Good point. I forgot about that momentarily, that Echelon was name dropped in that one Bliss and Iso song.
Yeah, it was.
That's just a happy coincidence.
Ah, yes,
That
Art
was-
House. What does
None
Art
of that
House
was
know?
purposeful.
Fucking Art House audio, it was crazy. Yeah, like Kevra was also a scientist, blue spiky hair, she's also part Ice Wraith. It was part of this like monster, like monstrous human dichotomy thing that was going on in that game. Really cool character. I think a lot of ideas from Scarf have been reincorporated through a lot of my other games because a lot of those are very like just integral to what I find fun and interesting. But yeah, Ansler is probably the most interesting one.
Yeah, that's a good point. I never considered the intermingling between this and Project Scarf.
And his last name, King, is because L. King was the artist for X's and O's, and also subsequently the reason for Oblivious's existence. Kings are better than queens.
Fantastic. Here is one to Tali and Amy that we talked about briefly earlier, but just for the recording and all the people who are curious. Hey, Amy, can you elaborate on Seiko's absent parents?
That's a brilliant question. You see, about that. Next question, please.
Okay, cool.
Are Woden and Odin the same name? Woden is the original spelling of Odin. So Woden is the correct spelling of the Norse god. Or, well, the correct pronunciation. I think that the spelling is obviously with different characters and letters, but you know what I mean. Yes, it's from Norse.
It's really funny that, like, Thursday everyone knows is Thor's Day, but everyone forgets that Wednesday is Woden's Day.
Right. Gotta love Woden! I love Woden.
Thank you, American Gods.
Woden. Whoa.
Next question. Hi, Jared from Blink. Hi, Blink. Next question.
Thank you, Blink. Hi, Blink.
Hey, Blinky.
You think this is some kind of funny joke, Blink?
Blink, good job.
Also, Friday is Freya's Day.
Where is it? YouTube chat, bring him to us. Public execution.
Question
For saying hi.
What was the
Alright,
John
someone
Lennon
tell me
secret
how
action?
Ditto Woden.
Yeah, I'd love to know. I also don't know what it was, actually.
I'll have to bring it up, so I'll go to the next one and see what we get there. If y'all could have a plushie of your favorite character in LM, who would it be?
Ooh.
Oh, I want a rolling gold plushie.
I want an encore plushie. I already drew it.
My favorite character in LM?
I think I sent it to Duncan.
Little Oblivious would be pretty cute.
go, small oblivious.
What's the type that gets plushies usually? So...
I'd want a plushie of whatever happened to the DJ so I can have an actual portal.
I was gonna say the DJ would make a great plushie.
Actually,
very cost efficient on materials with that one.
Speaking of that, there's actually a follow-up one for plushies. Which one of the plushies in Oblivious's dream sequence, little illusion thing do we want of the frostbitten? I really like the Wild Things one. That one's really cute.
Oh, which one do you want? Is that what you said?
Which one do you want? You don't want a little long water dragon?
I mean, they're cute. But I have to look at them. They're not in front of me. Hold on.
Put them on screen.
True. I guess I can do that. You're right. I forgot I could literally just pull them out, can't I? No, I can't. Well...
Yeah, Roll20 just doesn't want to launch right now. I don't know what's going on with my end.
I don't know. I think the Wild Thing is really cute.
Wild Thing is a second place contender for me.
A plushie of frostbitten. I don't know if it appeared in that sequence, but if I can get a plushie of the Emperor Penguin,
there is one that appeared, yeah.
I want it. I want like a full
Was there one of the rain guy?
No.
Oh no, we were not at that point yet.
That would be insane.
That would be a
insane,
one.
though.
That'd be a really cool foreshadow, though.
How the hell would you even make that into a plushie? It's just a fat walrus.
Bird.
Oh, he's a walrus.
Bird.
He's not a bird. He's a walrus.
Is he made of birds?
Yes, but he's a walrus.
They're like one of those old Transformer toys where you combine them together and they make a walrus.
I am the Eggman. I am the walrus.
$5
Here it
steak
is.
with
I
us
sent
would
it
be
to Amy. Holy shit! Over a year ago. Damn. Here's my seal card action.
Get a $5 blahosh.
Time to fucking have a headache.
If an enemy is within 10 feet of a source of water that could possibly be connected to the ocean / lake ism, and an enemy is moving towards a party member who is at half health or lower and screaming / screeching, John Lennon will emerge comically chomping down on the entity and drag them into the ocean, comically cutting them off.
I'm glad that never happened, frankly.
I used my summon.
I think this was because at the time I watched that shark movie with... Oh god.
That shark movie,
Point,
everyone's
it's still
favorite.
funny.
It's 47 meters down where the guy's giving the inspirational speech and then just gets comically eaten by the shark.
Yeah,
I
like
literally
the Meg.
was going for that.
The Meg.
I
I believe that movie was called The Meg.
I think it was before the Meg, but it may have also happened in the Meg.
Yeah, that's not the Meg. It's something else.
I think it's 47 meters down or something.
What a stupid
It's
name.
Samuel L. Jackson giving a speech.
Yeah, I know what scene you're talking about.
You say fucked by the shark, yeah.
I don't watch weird shark movies.
It's a weirdly
let's see
big
here.
genre.
And now I'm in the mood to go watch all of the Jaws series. Yay.
Deep Blue?
Here is a
Deep Blue, I think
question.
that was it.
Deep Blue's a chess AI.
Here is a question from Blue.
Blue.
What was the order of events pre-game that caused the setting the players walked into, i.e. what occurred in order: the Solar Storm, Bliss and Millie getting stands, the development of the Frostbitten and the other butterflies, all the fuck shit and all, etc. Quote Blue.
It's a very complicated question for something that I think definitely just showed up in-game, I think.
I zoned off with the question, what?
I'm really not sure how to answer that.
Well, I can help break it down. I'm assuming that the first thing that happened was Bliss getting his stand from Hirito.
That happened a long time ago.
Yeah.
That happened during a beach episode.
Was the Solar Storm or the butterflies created first?
Butterflies. The solar storm can't exist without the butterflies.
Mm-hmm.
That's literally a storm of butterflies.
And then let's see if it's getting us in. Help the butterflies. I guess that technically answers the questions for what's there. And then of course we had the collapse and Millie's extension of you when Bliss died.
Jared, I love you, but I'm zoning the fuck out.
Yeah, no worries. I'll move on to the next question.
You're on thin ice, Blue. I'm the bailiff here.
Just the voice and all the ums, and I'm
I will try and do better for you, my friend.
It's okay. It doesn't.
You're doing good, Jared, but slow down a bit.
There's a lot of questions. I'm sorry.
Take it easy, man.
Yeah, it's no pressure.
Let's try this question from Blue.
How many questions have we done so far?
I have just been 86ing them from the list. Question from Blue: is Dean single? Eyes emoji.
Sure, a single hole in the ground.
God damn it, Tali.
Here is a question
breaking my heart.
for each of the players, and I guess Tali, you can be included.
I'll listen.
I guess. Everybody's favorite frostbitten encounter.
Water
from
dragons.
Lim.
Water dragons. That oh shit moment. I'll see that massive maw appear and just the hey, we should run.
That's very fun. My personal favorite is the raid of Night 6. That tell the world and all the war halls and all that, and just everybody. That was such a good fight. We had to do it over 2 sessions.
That's true, that did happen.
Yeah.
I was debating whether or not I was going to say that one, or what I'm going to go with is first appearance of Mad as Hell.
Hell
Also
yeah,
really good.
I'm glad you enjoyed
The
that one.
first Mad as Hell tunnel fight, that one was fun.
I'm
and now I'm going to turn you inside out with air pressure.
Oh yeah,
Oh, dear
right.
Lord.
That was crazy.
Like, so much of the game had been like, we could just fucking bail, we could just run. This is the horror campaign, we could just try to run. And I'm like, no, this is not an opponent we can run from. It's roaming the tunnels. This is not something we can run.
I'm going to, for the sake of this question, even though like a lot of these encounters were technically boss encounters, I'm just going to say, like, I'm not going to count Mad as Hell encounters for this one, personally.
That's cool.
I think
that.
I think my favorite frostbitten encounter, though it might have not been like the most like complex or dynamic one, I think our first encounter with the helicopter with Circle and Square was really fun.
Ooh,
That was a very, got the impression in over our heads, very high stakes, because if that helicopter took one hit from that thing, it was going down and we were stranded out there.
It was a very tense fight.
Oh, the raid to get Ancillor?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, that was fun.
That was crazy.
As how much plotting and scheming we had to do to make sure the helicopter was never in the line of fire.
And then you going high blood
Having
pressure
to-
mode.
Yeah, having to get everyone to escape, going high blood pressure mode.
Yeah, when the circle and the square almost fucking pasted me.
true.
That's
And I
Henry.
suddenly realized the circle and the square not only is
That
a
was
spin
just-
user,
that was
but
just
it's
a
a
fun
golden
Learning
user.
that the frostbitten can lose spin, I think, also is a really good.
That was just a really
landmark.
fun encounter, I think. And it's the one that immediately comes to mind when you ask for like what was like the encounters that we had the most fun with.
Fascinating, because I also think that encounter did not age well in context of the whole game, but it really set the tone right, you know?
Yeah.
Like, going back and looking at it compared to the other fights, it's not as grandiose or anything, but it sure as hell set the others up to be pretty grand. I think I've expressed my absolute adoration for this encounter, so I will keep it short, but Eye of the Storm, hands down. There is nothing else in any other tabletop that can compare to that encounter for me. I don't think I've ever had more fun running a tabletop session. As far as favorite to watch, Maggots Falling Apart.
Ooh. That's a good one.
Watching Seiko have to rush in there and deal with all the problems while Elisar could barely hold the door open. Yeah, that shit rocked. Those are my favorites.
Lots of good encounters.
Shit's
That was
fucked,
a
I
good
gotta fix
follow-up.
Encounters.
Emmy?
Oh, the shit's fucked. I gotta fix it.
You tried.
Absolutely. I do not think we can move on from this question. Can we actually take some more time with this question and just talk about like some encounters like we really enjoyed?
Sure. I was gonna follow it up with everybody's favorite mad as hell encounter, but I guess we can loop that into us.
Okay. I refuse to move on from this question without mentioning our the entire sequence with the lucky one.
Lucky one was
Oh,
so.
yeah.
That
That
encounter
was the
whole
true
Lucky One
that
horror
counts.
moment
was
for me.
so
even though there wasn't
fun.
like really any initiative until the very end, that counts as that full episode is basically one huge encounter.
I didn't expect my stand to be a complete counter.
You got to be a
Neither
complete
did I.
counter. There was so much crazy stuff going on with Larry getting infected, us trying to talk Murphy over, like back from the brink, basically.
Amy,
Wow.
that
Larry just tried to
perfect
murder
counter was
Murphy.
improvised.
Right at the beginning
I'm sure
of the
you know,
series
but
too.
yeah.
Right at the beginning of the series.
Shout out to Bliss for vouching for Murphy.
If you say that
True.
the Circle in the Square fight didn't age well, Lucky One aged like a fine wine.
Yeah,
Holy shit.
yeah, I could still go back and absolutely adore that fight. I think it's probably my
Especially
point
like,
to this
it
when I tell people that I
encapsulates-
really enjoy non-initiative combat. I'll
Yeah,
point to
that-
Lucky One.
That's the thing that I
I
wanted
think
to have
the
a
whole Lucky One episodes perfectly encapsulates who each of the characters were right at the
Mhm.
beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. I think what Tali mentioned, I want to do like a whole stream just talking about that one day. Do a bit of shop talk, if you will, about initiative, how we feel about initiative, where it's appropriate, where it can be avoided, that kind of thing. Because we have a lot of different ideas about initiative in this group.
I think that the LM crew is all on a very similar page about non-initiative, but I know there are some very aggressively pro-initiative opinions.
You do non-initiative very well as a GM, but I know it's not everybody's style.
It's not easy either, and it can be
Hell
panic-inducing.
no.
When I was first doing it, it was hell on earth.
Hell no. Amy
took a
has
while.
done some non-initiative sessions in Shadow War recently.
Oh my god, the most recent Shadow War. I know it hasn't gone up yet, but that was a fucking blast. There was like a whole non-initiative, just like... Am I allowed to say a little small tidbit of what it was like, Amy? Like the scope?
Sure.
It was basically like a town-wide initiative, is how I would put it. It was so cool, and I had a blast. But I think it's up to the scenario, because obviously there are some bad non-initiative encounters that immediately go into initiative because they don't work. Usually I catch those pretty quickly. I can't think of exactly which one. I know there was one in LM at some point where I was like, this can't stay out of initiative, this has to have some.
I'm going to assume it might be like Act 3.
Act 3... Act 3 I think might have been better without it, frankly.
I'm willing to bet it's one of the ones that I like picked a fight when I probably shouldn't have, or more directly picked a fight than I could have.
Frankly, I think all of the encounters could have worked in non-initiative. It's just kind of a skill issue on my part as to whether or not I was comfortable running them. Because it cannot be understated how hard it is to run a non-initiative encounter. It is a hard thing, because as the GM you have to make sure every single person gets equal time, and also is fun, and also in order, and also isn't OP, and control your monsters, and like... If you're not really comfortable with your monsters, it can get overwhelming fast.
Yeah, I think that's one of the upsides for like why Lucky One worked the way it did, because it responded. It far more was a response to stimuli than.
Yeah, you can't really
an
do it with
active
initiative
thing.
in that early spot, because it kind of relies on what you guys as players do anyway. It's better if I just wait and react. Can I talk about one of my favorite encounters in the game?
Sure.
Go for it.
The car chase with wild things.
Oh, that was so good.
I don't think I've ever been laughing my ass off harder than that entire fucking car chase to the Titanic.
What if I just run him over?
I was going, uh-oh, and then toting our way
That was
back.
the moment during the campaign where any worry about us like getting along together as players just went out the window and was like, oh, I'm having a blast.
I still have the LSR peering through Num's token as a thing when high blood pressure moment happened. It's so good. That one shooting the wild things as encore, throwing the wild things into the pillar and it just breaking apart limb from limb. The one comic that was drawn.
Jeez, those the Lucky One episodes really did just fucking God, they were bangers.
There's a reason we were calling ourselves Chaos Crew at the fucking beginning.
Yeah, I remember that. Chaos Crew.
One of the encounters that I really enjoyed that I wasn't actually a part of was the first Madicel 4, the Warhammer fight. Trying to break into the dome. That one was so much fun because I love there being non-direct combat like goals, and that was to keep the dome up.
That was probably my favorite Madicel encounter, being able to actually go toe-to-toe with them for the first time with Circle and Square Lazar. Well, not really for the first time. There was still the rescue attempt to get Anstor back. But actually being able to go up against Madicel Act 4 and match his strength.
The power trip this man went on.
Nothing compares.
Not only that, but now you know that you kind of were kicking his ass, and he ran away. Not because he didn't want to try and keep fighting you, but because he legitimately thought he would lose.
One of the first times that, we stood our ground properly.
And I know there was confusion because obviously Act 4 doesn't talk, but yes, that is what happened. He ran away.
The first time. I remember, remember Act 3?
Act 3 was not having a good time.
Act 3 was... I love the bizarre drop for Act 3, and then 4 other things happened before it, and then it dropped in front of Lucy, and then had the drop.
Act 3 put in the garbage pit next to Good Doctor.
I still love that drop. That's still my favorite.
I think I know the question coming up was, which was your favorite,
Madicel encounter?
Madicel encounter. I think my favorites go Madicel Act 1, first encounter with Madicel Act 4, then second encounter with Madicel Act 4, then I think it's Madicel Act 2, then 3.
I'm a big Act 2 fan. I think it's also biased because it was me and you actually fighting him instead of the others. They were dealing with Professor Black
Act 2?
I think Act 2 is my favorite.
I love
Followed
Act
by
2.
Act 4's finale. Followed by Act 1. Then Warhammer, then Act 3.
I think specifically when we got to Stage 2 and you played Warhammer for...
The Warhammer hype was that whole fight for me.
For the final fight.
Just revealing that his big weapon was a hammer.
Big fish become...
It was like, all this subterfuge, all this brain stuff. What's the final boss? Big hammer.
Big hammer.
I'm gonna hit ya!
It's big hammer and it's wet everywhere.
Again,
Ooh,
you finally pulled off that fucking thing you wanted to do, where they just hit you really, really hard.
Yeah, and it worked.
For my favorite Madicel, does that first ever encounter on the island?
Oh, you're gonna nominate the beginning?
Yes. For a reason
that counts.
It set a tone for me for the game. It set this sense that everything is truly fucked.
I love Not Grandma.
Yep, that was definitely the moment of uh-oh, we're meddling with things beyond our understanding, aren't we?
I was so worried when everyone started thinking it was Grandma. I was like, oh no, this is gonna ruin the whole setup.
I think that
Thank
initial
God
thing
we
was
got
because
off that.
it was literally the book foreshadowing that probably took that.
The book wasn't foreshadowing Grandma, it was foreshadowing the wave.
I'm gonna blame me. I'm gonna blame me because my thought process was I don't watch that much horror and all that stuff, but my thought process is no one actually got away. There's so much blood and stuff. It has to be coming from somewhere. I wasn't thinking, oh, Millie's replacing it with red coral. That wasn't my thought process. So I'm like, where did all the bodies come from? Oh, it's the work crew and anyone else who has come down here. So we saw a book from Grandma that she had read to Millie, as Millie said at the time. Oh, Grandma never left. That's Grandma Iso.
I can see how that particular order of things. Yeah, Grandma's talked about in the module. She's perfectly fine and safe. Yep, but it is very funny.
The moral quandary is: do we finish them off or not? Because I think it was telling us to kill it, right?
Yes.
And the fact that came back to fuck us so hard.
Arguably, it didn't. I would argue it. You did the right thing. However, you could not have foreseen what the actual scenario was. If you had actually killed it, you would have done the right thing, but you didn't actually kill it. You sent it back to Millie. You imprisoned it again.
There was no way for me to know how to kill it.
And then
precisely, but
happened.
I'm saying it did want to die. It wasn't a ruse. It wasn't me subterfuging you. That was legitimately what it wanted.
I feel like if we had done that scenario again, but with all the knowledge we had garnered from the entire game at that point, I feel like we would have handled it so differently. And the fact that we encountered when we did, just
my
really
favorite part about that is that
running.
Knowing out of character and in-game that mess of flesh on the island, that is Bliss Iso. Not the guy you met, not the good doctor. That lump of flesh, that was him. And that's the only time you ever actually saw him, apart from when you broke the face mask off of him at the end.
Hey buddy, look at a little lumpy over there, you alright?
And you never got a good idea for his personality until Act 4 was talking through Ancillor. And
Also,
Act 4 said like maybe two sentences.
I think the stupidest thing I've ever mentioned about, like, made a joke about, when we learned that it was the beginning was Bliss, was I had Larry turn to Bliss and was like, hold on, if that was the first piece that left, why was the first thing that left your love of fucking Morse code?
Bliss shrugging.
I'm like, oh, no, man. I'm just gonna play this off for a laugh. Anyway.
That is very funny.
That's also really good because when Ancillor was like, what? That's like your favorite thing. Where's your Morse code? You don't know Morse code anymore?
It's actually really sad when you think of it from that perspective. Ancillor, man. The whole thing with Ancillor being that I never really got to play it up because Millie happened so quickly, but he was going to be so distraught. He's going to be like, I don't even know if I know my brother anymore.
Oh, the feels.
Fully get why he was
Any
so
other
angry.
Poked Millie until she broke.
I would be worried if he didn't get it. I think Madness 4 Act 4 is quite relatable in the most depressing of ways.
Love Madness 4. We good to move on, or anybody want to talk about another encounter?
I'm good.
Was it Act 2 that Murphy killed with the shower?
Yeah, Act 2 got killed by the shower.
It's great.
Act 2 got so owned.
But he also is
Immaculate.
the reason Millie died in the end, so...
Oh,
Well-
that funny D8 changed the entirety of the campaign.
Well, he also got melted by a shower head.
True. You win some, you lose some. You kill a child, you die to a showerhead.
Act 2 got destroyed so quickly I legitimately forgot what episode he appeared in and had to go search for it.
Worked out so well is because it was like so overshadowed, quite literally, by the giant.
Yep, Act 3 isn't about Act 3. And it really never was. There was never a Act 3 on his own fight.
I'm gonna fight Act 3.
Plat.
Die!
Night
Also
8,
with the
yeah,
best
Act 2,
one-liner.
Act 2 emerges
Yes,
and Lucifer and Larry just beat the shit out of him and just like kick him down, and then Murphy comes running out of the bathroom with the shower hose.
I got it! Hot potato!
I always imagine Act 2 like slowly pushing itself up and then just out of screen and just burst of fire.
It just immediately just shrivels up into a little worm on the ground.
Holy shit.
Moving on to the next question. Any traits or flaws that weren't brought up that you wish that were?
Traits or
Mine's a
flaws
funny
that
one. Don't worry about it.
I wish there were a ton of Millies. That's mainly it. She had a lot, and I kind of wish that we had more time to deconstruct her character because she was a very complicated character, and unfortunately we rushed through that part of the story. So if there's anything I kind of wish I had more time to, it was to be in the Millie's pretending arc a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Because that was my favorite part of her character.
I love that my +5 trait was actually a +5 for its rarity of destroy. If uwu, we destroy.
I think Larry had a one that came up maybe once that I don't think ever got discussed. It was his neg 4 follows orders trait. Where if someone someone that is in a position of authority gives him an order, he will follow it.
I remember I did that to you by complete accident once.
Me too.
I was expecting it to happen more often because I'm like, there's got to be a head of security down here, right? No one was head of security.
The thing with Bliss and Tiller is they don't give orders, they give observations. They're both scientists. So that neither of them was going to be like, Larry, you will do this. They're going to be like, Larry, you should do this.
I think one time someone looked at Larry and said, Larry, do this. And Larry just immediately said, yes, sir. And moved and went and did it.
Yeah, I remember that. It was a really good moment.
But it was the thing I was going to do as Larry anyway, so it really didn't come up.
Yeah, by the time I was playing as Circle of the Square Lazar, and I was a little bit more authoritative,
yeah, I think
there was no reason for the flaw to come up because, yeah, it was stuff that we had already aligned on and wanted to do mutually anyway.
Yeah, I think you were the one that triggered it, Duncan, was you said, Larry, I need you, do this.
Yeah,
and Larry just went and saluted and did it.
Yep.
Aye, aye, Captain.
But as you said before, it's because, like, yeah, our motivations were to align at that moment for there to be any reason for that flaw to take effect.
It's a -4 if I try to resist following the order.
Right, and you weren't.
No, so it's not a flaw at that point.
Not a flaw. Personally, no. I think everything was good. From my side, at least. I don't feel like I had any flaws that should have come up more, and the stuff that didn't really come up in the series, I'm fine with it not coming up in the series.
Well, I had to give a -5 trait for Larry. I don't know if that No, did the -5... Didn't I have a -5 for when I died as Larry? I can't remember what it was.
It was that you weren't going to prioritize others anymore.
Oh,
You're
right. I was
yourself.
no longer prioritizing others. I was prioritizing my own life over everyone else.
That came up a lot, actually. It was really cool. I think there's something very special about LM and the way that it was run, and the way that I kind of feel about tabletops in general. I don't really have many regrets in many of my games. I think back on and I think it would be fun if, and that's about as far as the regrets go. So I would have loved to do more with Millie, but I don't think it's a regret. It's more so just a... That would have been neat.
Fun if we could play this again without the thing and go down a different path. But we know everything. We know a lot now, so we can't go in blind again.
More surprises coming up in the future for more different games.
Just get Learn Mortality a couple times, Mikey. You'll be fine. You'll forget.
I mean, I'm very excited to see how many secrets and surprises come out when it comes to the Disjoint Quarter. I'm doing a very similar thing with that game that I'm doing with LM, where it's just going to be whatever happens, happens.
Duncan, Amy, any traits or flaws that you wish came up?
Nope. Nothing I can think of.
Alright, cool. Tali,
Hi.
here's a rapid fire 3 questions for you that are cute questions about Millie.
Oh, cute questions. I love cute questions.
Start with this one. If Millie was allowed a pet like a Tamagotchi, what kind of pet would she have wanted?
I think she would have
boy.
liked a little rabbit. She would like something small that she can pet and that she
Rabbit
can feed.
gang, rise up.
I could also see her like that bug girl from Twilight Princess.
Linda?
Was
Tali?
that her name? I don't remember her name. Yeah, what's up?
Quick thing. I think the music might be a little bit loud on stream.
Really? Oh,
Just a little.
that's weird. It should be the same as...
Sounds fine to me, but it can go down just a smidge.
I mean, it should be how I'm hearing it, so it should be fine. There shouldn't be any weird balancing things going on. I think it's
Second
fine.
cute question.
But, well, whatever.
Great!
Would Smith Arrow be friends with Millie and Obby? Pleading emoji.
Would Smith Arrow be friends with Millie and Abby?
Now it's quiet.
Smith Arrow
law.
doesn't have friends.
Well, you're not here to listen to music, Sketchy.
Music?
Hmm. I would say that Abby would be friends with Millie in the sense that she'd love to study what Millie's up to and would be very curious about her.
And here is a combination of a couple questions that are all kind of asking a similar thing. Let's see. There we go. Can you go through the design process with Bliss and Hirito and I guess Bolt for designing Millie as a caricature? Some people are asking, did Bliss design Millie as a younger version of themselves pre-transition? Some are asking, did Bliss and Hirito like Sims a daughter together?
It's a lot closer to that latter one. I really do like the interpretation that Millie looks like younger Bliss. That is a very cute interpretation. Actually, how Millie was designed actually is a lot up to her. They kind of rolled the dice how you would in genetics. A lot of what they wanted to do was to not have control. I think Millie had an offhand line at one point where she was like, or someone was like, you know, simulating natural mental and psychological disorders like depression, anxiety, and that sort of thing. They wanted their kid to randomly have any possible positives and negatives. So they just kind of threw all those chances in there. And they wanted her to look like a merger of the two of them. So she shares a lot of their traits and all that, but ultimately a lot of how she acts and who she is was designed by pure mathematical genetic chance.
I love that.
Randomized Sims outfit with a pattern.
One more funny question for Tali, and then I'll go to the other players. This is from a funny dude.
A funny do?
It's from a funny dude. Where's the screaming gun now?
You better hope United doesn't have it.
Is it in the Tic Tac?
The screaming gun was never real, but
Uh-oh.
you can imagine it was.
I don't know what I'd do about a screaming gun. That sounds too scary.
What if there was some... This is just me bullshitting something that I don't think is real. What
My
if that
next
was
character.
where fucking Millie backed up her fucking programming
Who
always?
in the
It was
gun?
just backed up
My
the-
next character,
Dad, put me
minus
in the
5
gun.
flaw. Minus 5 flaw, afraid of screaming guns.
Dad, please, I want to go in the gun. Let me shoot.
What, Millie? What the fuck do you?
I want to shoot and kill things for you.
I thought she
That is
was
so
I thought,
terrible.
like,
What
at
the
the
hell?
beginning when we went into Millie's lab, she's like, "Yeah, I'm making an AI-powered gun," and I'm like, "What if she just put her like a backup AI core in there? That's where she's backing
I made a
herself up
smaller
to?"
version of me.
Look inside the gun. It's just like a 1-inch tall Millie waves.
That's immaculate. See, there we are. For the players, what is one concept early on that you thought was going to be a larger part of the series? I personally thought that the lucky one was going to be a lot more important than it actually was. I thought that lucky one was going to be like second in command, like resurrected later, like we'd fight them again. There'd be more with like the visions and the screaming and stuff like that from Voice of Dead Ocean, but from the lucky one. With all the
was
spores
a
and all
lucky
that.
one follow-up fight I had prepped.
It did? I want to do that.
Yeah, it was at the Marine Lab.
I want to do that.
It was gonna jump from the fucking helicopter and attack you guys.
Oh, I would love that.
It was
That's
literally
what all
gonna
the
be like,
tendrils
yeah,
were
let's
before
take
Larry destroyed it.
Yeah, let's take Lucky One and let's do it, but instead of a Titanic full of people, it's a bunch of airplane pilots. And then I was like, well, it's going in a different direction. There goes that idea. Bye.
I kind of like that Lucky One was a one-off in that case.
Same.
It keeps it as a special monster of the Titanic.
Like, it took a while to grow and naturally develop there, as opposed to being like an act. Like, it's almost like something entirely different than the frostbitten and unbitten. It's just like some weird fungus that suddenly emerged.
I want to play One's Lord.
My thing with it was that I thought the little portions around, like one would start growing into a lucky one, or like they would start amassing together as like they reform the core being, almost like a myceliums coming together to make a colony.
Handyman.
What was I thinking that there was going to be more of?
Yeah, any early theories or things you thought were more important than they were.
The mention of the military base.
Yeah.
The military base was a player concept. I never, ever mentioned it.
I was thinking, like, it was going to be going in the direction that maybe this wasn't all being caused by the Research Foundation, and that maybe there was, like, some kind of military, like, occupants of this place, like, way before, maybe not even necessarily from United, maybe just from a completely different country that unearthed something, and now we're just kind of, like, stumbling into that, basically. I was thinking that that might have been what the twist was about to be.
I was all for the secret bunker below the ice labs.
Secret bunker, yeah.
Experiment,
ultimately
Area
there
51
was
tubes everywhere.
There was technically a military base, if you consider the doctor's room.
And there was a secret bunker underneath the Sotiller.
Yeah.
Hee-hoo.
What early thing did I think was gonna be more important? I hate to put it this way, no offense against you, Tali, but we were extremely inconsistent with Frostbite.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like, we forgot to add it sometimes, we forgot that it slowed us down a lot, we just
That's
kept
not really on me,
forgetting a
that's
lot
just
about
y'all
Frostbite.
forgetting it, and that's okay.
And you never stopped to correct us, so it's like,
Because I wasn't paying attention, I trusted y'all to do your own shit.
Oh yeah, I think like before the series even began, I was assuming that a lot more of it would be going into not necessarily combat. I wasn't envisioning this being so combat heavy, honestly.
But survival against elements?
Yeah, I was figuring mostly it was going to be about resource management. Resource management as a way of combating elements rather than monsters, enemy forces. I was thinking that there would be a lot more like prepping.
Yeah, to a certain extent, I was too. I was kind of figuring this was going to be a lot
to
more.
Go and try and collect more resources, bring them back, and begin like fortifying the base more. That kind of stuff.
And manage it and defend well enough.
Well, technically, a lot of it could have been that, if that is the direction y'all went.
Yeah, I guess if we didn't, spur things along with Mad as Hell.
Yeah, I mean, you could have spent time fortifying the base. It's really just the matter of you were in a stressful situation and everyone had to make tough choices, which eventually led to not bunkering down and actually going out and doing things.
Yeah, as a group, we all collectively decided, mostly because of probably because a good portion of Larry and Seiko, because I remember Elisar Elisar's compassion, Seiko's daring, and Larry's, I guess, responsibility, because he figured I've got to protect all these people. We're like, oh, Murphy's been taken, we're gonna go get him. Let's go get him.
I am great at combat, personally.
If only we
I
talked
can win any fight if I go beast mode. It's true.
Right.
I was thinking
Duncan, could you beat up? Could you beat up
oh,
a
we need
wild
to save
thing?
everyone.
If I threw a wild thing at you in real life, would you win?
Yeah, probably. I just break its neck.
You know?
90 degrees to the right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just like that.
Speaking of 90 degrees to the right, Tali.
Hi.
Here's a question from Shade.
Okay.
For the Titanic, was it placed there for the lucky one, or was it used to attack something? And if so, did you determine who was unlucky enough to have the Titanic thrown at them?
Oh yeah, no, I know exactly who got the Titanic thrown at them.
Oh, oh, finally, we get to know.
Yeah, so the frostbitten were not super organized when they first started.
Mm-hmm.
The Titanic is the result of a climactic battle that decided the leader of the frostbitten. It's how the devil got his power. Yeah.
That's what? That's so
Yeah, it's
fun.
literally there. There is no concrete answer, but it's there to imply that there is a
Seriously?
sordid history behind the frostbitten. Yes. They did not start out unified.
That's interesting.
They fought for dominance.
Huh. That's fun. That's pretty fun.
And 25-25 was controlled by Good Doctor and the Devil, so, you know, who becomes the generals of the frostbitten? The guy that can throw the Titanic.
Establish the pecking order real fast.
When,
That one,
when
I
all
think.
when all the people turn and stare, they're like, "Oh, shit, that guy can throw
that's
the Titanic."
Okay.
Yeah.
Get in formation, guys, I guess.
Do I know who got domed by the Titanic? Imagine there was some original, like, superpower frostbitten that got killed by it. I don't have a name. You can come up with some.
It was the polar bear.
It was the polar bear.
Yeah, it was the ice hockey polar bear with the ski mask neck or whatever. I don't remember.
I'm gonna say, is that a constant? Hey, Duncan, remember the polar bear secret action?
Of course I do.
What?
Don't worry about it. Hey, here's a question from Sketchy.
Oh my god.
For the players, what class would your character be if they were in a D&D game? Ah, the classic.
Ooh.
And for the GM, what D&D class would your favorite character be?
Where's my internet?
In Dungeons and Dragons specifically?
Yes.
Can you restate the question? My internet fucking
Yeah,
died.
of course. For the players, what class would your character be if they were in the D&D game? For the GM, what is D&D class would your favorite character be?
Okay, this
What
is
would
gonna
Larry
sound.
be in
I actually
D&D?
have a. No, wait. I have an answer. Sorry, hold on.
Yeah.
I have an answer, and it's a legitimate answer that technically I've had before the game started. Mad as Hell would be a multi-class of all classes at level 1.
Yeah, Adventure Man!
There was an original concept of Mad as Hell, which was that every act was going to add a new fantasy class onto how it functioned.
Adventure as hell, let's go!
Yeah. So it's like the final boss would be like monk, necromancer, sorcerer, bard, all of them smashed into one, you know? Like
That's
There you
so...
go.
That's so fun.
Absurd!
it was absurd.
Lucifer, I
Someone
believe,
made a
would be...
video where they brought a level 14 character that was one level in every fucking class.
No.
To a fucking
Lucifer-
like game thing.
would be a sorcerer, because a lot of his mentality and the way that he fights are very innate things to him. So like it's his spin, it's his siblings, it's all coming from him in a way that he does things.
I
Let
don't
that
think anyone
demon
is
seed.
surprised that Larry's an Oath of Vengeance paladin.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Oath of Vengeance?
Poor boy.
Yeah, that fits.
Oath of
Is
Vengeance.
Elisar the pet of a hunter?
Elisar is Druid Circle of Dreams with 1 level dip into Barbarian.
Bet.
What is Seiko?
What is Seiko? Amy, what is Seiko?
What is that text?
The question.
What D&D class is Seiko?
What D&D class is Seiko? That's a good question. I feel like
Bard.
Bard.
Artificer.
Yeah. No, not really. Well, yeah.
Bard
Yeah,
Artificer, Bard Artificer
Artificer.
Market class.
Bart.
And apologies, my body just went, hey, tired, let's...
Bard Artificer
Amy is gonna
multi-class.
take a nap, ladies and gentlemen.
Druid Circle of Dreams is literally perfect. I'm just reading this for the first time.
Is Cat Girl a class? No, Methan,
No.
Cat Girl is not a class.
No, Slim Shady was not here all along. Me.
There was a question about that.
Is Cat Girl a class?
No, mayonnaise is not an instrument.
Can I have 3 Cat Girls in the party?
Almost a reality.
I hate the
Let it-
reality.
Never forget, that was almost a reality.
Oh yeah, can we go into that?
No. No, I don't want it. Take me away from
We
it.
did so
Just-
in the
just
epilogue.
know-
Go
just
watch
know.
the epilogue.
We did talk about it a little bit more in the epilogue. Just baseline, the 3 cat girls in one party was almost a reality.
It makes me sad.
Well, you gave us
I
the green
alone
light on
believe.
the additional player and character types. So whose fault would it really have been?
The people who made the character.
Sure. Also
you.
yours. We're in this together.
You do not blame the car for running over the pigeon. You instead blame the oddly shaped rock.
Next
I blame-
question, Jared.
Wonderful.
Okay, fine.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
fine,
right.
you
I just
win.
established dominance on you,
You
Duncan.
win. Next
For
question.
the player character. For the players.
Yeah, get out of here, Tali. This is our question.
Oh, okay,
Let's go,
fine. I'll
idiot.
just
Mute-
deafen
mute
so that
yourself.
stream can't
Mute.
hear.
Were there any other character ideas you had before you settled on the one that you had now?
Cat girl.
Yes! Yes, actually.
No!
I zoned out.
Get fucked, Tali.
The
Get
fucking excitement with which you said that!
Come back, Mikey. Duncan's about to tell us about
I'm
what
gonna go get
previous
more water.
characters-
Tali was trying to force us to move on from talking about the 3 cat girl
Oh.
party, and now we have the question which answers why
Well,
we
the
were going to have a
floor is
3 cat girl
yours. I'm
party.
getting
Just
water.
trying to fucking move on. Look at where you got yourself. You really dug yourself into this time. Go get water.
They already got
Tell
up.
us about the cat girl, Duncan.
I was originally, like, we talked about this in the epilogue more in depth, but I was originally going to be playing a character who was an AI for the Isotiller labs, very suspiciously like Millie.
Yeah.
Who was, they were an AI who gained sentience, who were originally a cat girl, like, chatbot. That was my
Wow.
character. I'm serious.
How
And then you
badly
accidentally just full on made oblivious.
Kappa, I gotta know, how badly were you going to lead into it? How much was there gonna be? Yeah.
Oh, I was going to be insufferable. Holy
I
shit.
I probably would have had Lucy leave.
But also cool. I was also I wanted to be like one half shit post, one half like legitimately attempting to be a cool character.
I'm glad you went with
Lucifer would be on the other side of Isotiller at all times.
Lucifer would have
Lucy's sake, for
turned
my
off
sake.
the chatbot.
Larry's
+5 versus your character the whole time.
Larry's already a cat girl in my heart. In my head
No.
canon.
And I did have ideas for another character at one point.
Kill the
Um,
foul creature.
I wasn't entirely sure what their stand was going to do, as I'll keep the name of that stand secret for now. But I had this idea of leading it, because sometimes I say between Irish accents, people might have noticed, of leading into that and playing a character who's basically just a down on his luck kind of this boxer just trying to make some money. And that just never came to fruition. I just didn't vibe with it. Probably because I couldn't fully figure them out. But I was like, wait a second. I really like listening to this song. Oh wait, I really like the song "Rolling Girl." Let's go with this. It sounds fun.
Yeah.
The idea of trying again and again and again, telling fate to go fuck itself was.
It's a very compelling character type.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I think to have a backup character. If Larry died, I was just fully willing to just be like, all right, bye, and then just leave the call and never join again.
Oh my god.
Insane play, but I'm all there for it. That's in the spirit of survival horror. I
The
think.
energy
Like, he's
of
just
Mikey.
fucking dead. I'm not. There's no one here coming to replace him. He's just fucking dead.
There was a time where I was worried you were gonna do that before it revealed the revival thing.
For me, I've told Tali this vaguely because I still want to use the character for something in the future, maybe. But I did have a Larry-type character with an axe stand that was actually going to be my initial idea, but I had the idea for Lucy, and whenever I have an idea, I usually have it fully fleshed out very easily. I just have like a brain blast for an hour, and I go, okay, how about this? And I gave it to Tali, and Tali was like, perfect. I'm like, cool, fantastic.
Jared is like, this is my idea, no compromises. I either do it or I don't do it.
Oh, I'm malleable.
I'm looking fine, Philip.
Why do you make
I think
fun?
I had. I think
Is
I
that
also.
your- is that
Like
your
a
pickup
sad
line?
piece of chewing gum.
Like, I had a character pitch to Tali within, like, a week of Tali putting up the thing of, hey, guys, do you want to play this game? And I'm like, yes, and here's my character.
I still love that I handed you a butterfly. That was something you already had.
Oh yeah, that was wild.
That was such a beat. Oh my god. That's what Crazy Town does. That whole bit there, I was losing my fucking mind.
When you realize what the butterflies do is what your butterfly does.
I literally gave you the exact thing too, pretty much.
Pretty much, and it was almost called Pigeon.
It was almost called Pigeon. It was that would have been wonderful because I was initially gonna name it something else, but that name was already taken.
Is this a moral quandary? Hands you a crystal butterfly.
Yeah, but then we got the really dark eye catch that I'm very proud of the art of.
Which still references the original, by the way.
Yeah,
Don't think I
this is
didn't
true,
notice.
it does. It does, you're right. That was
Is this a pigeon but dark?
Is this an existential crisis?
It is fantastic. Cries in a corner.
Before we move on, Amy, did you have anything prior to Seiko? Oh, you already answered that. Never mind.
Yeah.
Yep.
I've already swapped.
Like a bird.
Here's a funky one.
Born in, yeah, for
Tap.
luck.
This is a question about the Learn Your Mortality secret villainous action.
Okay.
This is from Miha. If a vampire person was destroyed by Haman, could Millie still save them even though their initial flesh is gone?
Huh. Considering vampires were banned for obvious reasons, I never really considered what the ability would do on vampires. Yeah, you weren't allowed to play a vampire. I told you.
I don't remember this, but that
I
answers another
specifically
question.
said no vampires. Let me think
There you go,
here.
answer the question.
When it was Haman, well, Haman and Extension of You don't have any interactions, so I would say it really doesn't matter. It's when she gets to them that matters.
So
If they're
they're
already
basically-
dead by the time she gets to them, then they're dead.
So they would be like a full coral monster like Killer?
No, it just matters when she gets to them. So, like, let's say they're punching them and the Haman is slowly dissolving the body, but Millie yoinks them away in time.
Ah.
Then they're, like, half burnt away and then half coral monster.
Radical.
It would be a speed roll, ultimately, kind of like what happened with Oblivious. Man, a lot of the same people ask questions. It's almost like a very vocal minority is very passionate about this game.
Thank you, Miha, for all your questions. Oh, so many.
We will not be accepting any more questions. They will be tossed with peace and love.
I will take a final gander at the end, though, for anybody who has last-minute questions.
Yeah,
Even
I think
though we
there
have
should be a
lot of
portion at the
questions
end.
still left. Here is a question
Hey, I
for
could
the
be here
player.
all day, baby.
I can't.
It's a question for me and Amy.
Yeah.
Did the players who did not become unbitten have any plans for their Learn Mortality abilities? I probably would have done something funky, yes.
Amy
No
had
idea.
a plan.
Amy had a plan.
I had a
Oh my god, Amy had a plan.
Oh, I had a plan, alright.
You want to talk about that whole thing? It was pretty cool.
Oh, it doesn't really have a possibility of happening, does it?
No, it does not have the possibility of happening anymore.
So I
Millie's
found
fucking dead.
Yeah.
We
I
hate to
found
tell you
these-
this.
So I found a song called Millie Warmed the Kettle. And
Yep.
one of the lines was, Millie, what have you done to me, my friend? I was going to run with that. Full tilt with that.
It was so cool.
Yeah. I was really hoping.
I was really sad I couldn't use it. I think I remember eventually asking you, like, do you want me to, like, play this if a moment happens? I was like, yeah, if it happens.
Oh, God.
Because the song itself is really fucking cool, too.
Catch me walking with the ghost again. Oh, let's be on that double dose.
I mean, if anything, it's a really fucking awesome, like, theme song for Seiko post-campaign. Kind of like how Echelon has its own theme song.
Very fun.
Walking with the ghost again. Must be on that double dose again. It's such a good song. I love it.
Let's see if I can link it real quick for folks who want to listen to it. Are you okay if I do that, Amy?
Oh, fuck yeah. It's such a good song, and the artist is so good, too.
I warm the kettle. There we go. Boop.
Yes, while you're doing that.
Is that Ryo Fukui? Yeah, it is. Oh, hell yeah. I recognize the artist. Sorry.
So here's a question for the players' minds and then the GM choosing one of us and singling us out. What major impact do you think each player character made to the campaign? P.S. Larry is my favorite character. Really happy he didn't die here, dude. But I guess we could go around to all the players and say what we thought our biggest contribution to the plot was, and then Tali being like, you.
Yeah, I'll tell you what I think was, because I think that's a fun perspective. You first.
Mine is between the doctor deciding to not work with the devil or the talking with Millie during the day 5 or night 5 after the Tiller fight, the going for a walk speech.
Agreed.
What impact do I think Larry specifically had?
What is happening on screen? I just looked over.
I don't know, I found a creature, I was observing him.
The frostbitten appears.
Roll initiative.
Okay. Larry didn't have his... Personally, as the person playing Larry, I didn't feel like I had the most impactful, like, directing for the story. So I think the two that stood out to me as the player was the whole incident in the Titanic with basically forcing the group to basically confront itself and its own demons right away at the beginning of the game.
That's fair.
There's a shit ton that Larry did.
Or when I died to the butterfly.
Yeah.
Yeah, you contributed here. Death counter up.
I died, that's my contribution.
Mikey?
Listen, that's a joke, but honestly, that kind of gives like, hey, these
But
things are
that, like,
dangerous.
That's because that death started the whole like meltdown sequence bullshit that happened over the next like 4 sessions. That we're all like, holy crap, we're finally done. We're
To bounce
finally
off that,
done with the meltdown of Millie and all of that shit.
I think
I know
Larry rushing into the ice lab, playing the villain, but actually being like really trying to save Oblivious at that time, just to get all of us in, because Elisar was trying to have us leave.
I knew what he was doing, but I was going to be playing into it in character.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
Well, Mikey,
But, like as a character moment.
You allowing contact between Millie and Oblivious in that one stream?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Reboot.
Yes.
That's man, I was thinking about what I was gonna say. I almost want to rescind it for that. Holy shit!
I was asleep for that. We talked for it for so
yeah.
long.
Oh yeah, I forgot I did that.
I was losing my mind because that was the one thing I didn't want.
Dude.
And it was right as I went to sleep, my character.
Larry almost going for both ending percent.
Jesus Christ, I was dying.
Worst of all ending percent. Just trigger every ending simultaneously, see which one
Both
we're
kill act
There were
4
like
and
3
Millie.
times we did that too.
Yeah, that was an incredible moment.
Oh, it's so beautiful, but
I
god damn.
think Seiko's greatest contributions was, one, her interactions with Millie. Just in general.
Yeah, those were all great.
The way they just bounced off each other was incredible. And I think the next biggest one, I think, was just her stance, sheer presence in the game. A way for characters to have their emotions just balanced out. I feel like a lot of shit was prevented by that.
True. I also think that Seiko's with Millie and the winning against the I want to believe the ghosts are real flaw. That's a huge one. Where you were talking down Millie during the meltdown, not the meltdown, but you were during the meltdown.
Oh, yeah.
Which meltdown?
Good question.
Episode, or the extension of your fight, I think, yes?
I believe so, but it's the one that came over that flaw. That was so good.
That was after all the fighting was over, but it was still a very good moment.
Yeah, just the two of you in the server room. And all of us going, Seiko, Seiko.
I really love... Amy, can I say something I really adored about Seiko?
Yeah?
The fact that you didn't give a shit that everyone else disagreed with you. And you still did your thing no matter what, and goddamn, some of the choices you made were so fantastic. Everything you did with Millie I adored. And no matter how much these chuckle fucks were like, you're making a mistake, you still did it, and I loved it.
Yeah, by the time
It's so cool.
If I make a mistake, come stop me in character, otherwise shut up.
Yeah! Very Larry mindset, very Chad
I could know it might be a bad idea. You gotta know you think it's a bad idea, but in that moment, Seiko, in her heart of hearts, genuinely thinks she's helping. And Seiko just wants to help Millie, because Seiko cares about Millie. For the sheer purpose of helping Millie.
Duncan hasn't gone yet.
Oh yeah, I'm trying to think. I'm very indecisive because
The introduction of LSR.
there's multiple ways that I define having an impact. Like as much as I like
Unlocking the
having-
25th hour.
Unlocking the 25th hour, all of that. As much as I like having an overall effect on the narrative arc of the greater story, I also highly value impact when it comes to just like how my own character actions affect the experience of everybody else who's playing the game.
Oh.
And one thing that comes to mind, because this is my first game that I've gotten to play alongside Jared.
Hi.
And not only did this moment have, I think, great story impact, but also great interplayer impact. For the first time that I feel like you and I really just aligned for having fun with something, was when we were being chased by 2525 and decided to drop in on the Good Doctor.
That was so cool.
Oh, that was so good. I just want to praise you for a second, Duncan. LSR has been the greatest. Like, you were Lucy's Joe Bro the entire time, and you did heavily change who he was as a character where I thought he was going in certain moments.
Buddy
But
cop
that-
adventure
yeah.
between those two.
Like,
I'd watch
I
anything.
can't-
Right into 25,
Dude, Duncan.
25.
I can't ask for anything more than that, really.
Duncan,
My favorite part.
I
of this
love-
kind of thing.
your characters are almost I love all of them. Eggs. Except for whatever going on in Mist, but I fucking hate that character.
How dare you hate the snake?
Oh god.
I
Justified.
cannot deal with that character in
That
any
character is
way.
such
That,
a shit lord.
Great, I made her to not be able to be dealt with.
Yeah, I love her.
Tali.
Hello, yes.
Just a quick thing on the side. Apparently the music's a little loud on Twitch right now.
Are you talking about the message that Angel made ages ago?
I just got that message.
It's not loud, and I'm not changing it.
Oh, never mind.
It's alright. It's like the third
I
time
thought
people
that
have
was
told me to
RDM.
change the
That's
music,
my
and I'm just like,
mistake.
no.
That's my mistake.
No.
Anyway.
I wanted to put my own opinion on this because of... I'm pretty sure everyone was going to gravitate to big moments. And I wanted to put my favorite, what I think are the most impactful moments. Not because they were big, but because they were small and they tipped the scales in a big way, despite being small.
Mm-hmm.
Larry's was when he talked with Murphy, post-Lucky One, in the airfield about his brother. That scene to me sold the fact that there was a connection there that could grow. There was so much more depth to these characters, and it set the tone properly for the whole campaign. I fucking loved that scene. LSR, asking Oblivious to kill him. To me, that was the craziest thing you could have possibly fucking done, and you did it. It was amazing.
Dude, Blue's having an Akira moment.
Blue can wait his fucking turn. Love you, Blue.
Get on my head! Get on my head!
Lucy?
Hi.
When you took out your marker and you were like, who are you, rather than running away from the good doctor, that opened up the option for so much of the story. And Seiko, I don't think I could pick a better moment than the one hug that changed the entire game when you decided to save Millie's life during the fight.
Yeah.
You called her a human, and I think that's the best thing you could have done for the whole campaign.
God damn it. All the emotions that came with that later.
I'm just saying, I love small moments. I love the big moments too, but I think the small moments are what really make this campaign so special.
Because I already know my favorite moment in the entire campaign. And I'm waiting for it to come up.
I guess we can move on to that.
Oh?
Yeah. Is that the next question?
No, but it's a couple people have asked that.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Everybody's favorite moment in the campaign.
Oh, God.
That's a really hard question.
Mine's incredibly selfish. It was Lucy's breakdown. I still go back and go, damn, this Lucy guy's kind of cool.
Yeah, that hit hard.
My absolute favorite moment was also the hardest moment for me. It's when Millie died. It's when
yeah. That was your favorite oh my god.
I think,
masochist, but also awesome.
I think mine's... I think mine would be weird. Hold on, is my internet connected or not?
No,
I can hear you.
You're here.
Yeah, okay. Because I just saw Twitch fucking die in the background. So I think mine is a very weird one, but I decided to try to add to Tali's storytelling without doing too much. During the after I sent Millie into a second breakdown, Tali let me control the flesh of Act 1 in the pit.
Oh, that was so cool, yeah.
Hey,
and I got to try to put this is where the selflessness has gone from Larry. That is what I was trying to portray as Act 1.
The niceness is there. He cares about you.
Is that this is the part that cares about everybody around him.
Oh, Larry broke Millie again. Seiko has to fix her again.
And that's I don't remember if it ended up with the thing, but that's why Act 1 with what he could do before he went back to sleep put trust your sister on the tower. On the server tower. Because it was both a message to Millie and Seiko. You needed to trust each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so good.
My favorite moment in the campaign is very similar to Amy's, but it's close to that. My favorite moment was everyone at the South Pole trying to escape the wave. I think that's my favorite scene to rewatch. That's my favorite scene to just be like, oh, this is so cool.
It's that moment.
Larry should have just fucking died in that moment, but anyway.
if I may elaborate just a little bit.
Sounds like a skill issue. Get better at dying.
if I may elaborate, the reason why the scene hit me so hard because it was just the amount of raw emotion in that scene. Like, Seiko's grief there was entirely real. Seiko's grief there was my own. And I don't think I ever felt so in character as that moment. As well as that painted Seiko's mentality for the rest of the game.
It's either the, like, exploding South Pole for me, or, like, talking to LSR in the radio tower. Those are both, like, very powerful moments to me.
Ooh. I think it's fine to be a little bit selfish with this one because, like, what are we here for? Of course, we're here for the cooperative storytelling experience, but if we're not also trying to bring the best of what we've written with our own characters, like, oh, what's the point? Oh, what's the fucking point? But me personally, I'm a little torn from my individual player experience perspective. The moment with Oblivious telling her to kill me so I could become Circle and Square Lazar.
Oh, you are a
That-
madman.
When you did that,
That was
like,
a
what?
Yeah.
That's a moment that I think this is the only time I've ever
Legendary.
experienced this kind of thing happening where character just took over fully. I was not planning on doing that until I was halfway through the scene.
And there goes the
That was
internet.
all spur of the moment character choice. None of that was pre-planned. And a contender to my second favorite thing I accomplished as an individual is getting to pull off some spooky shit with LSR.
Oh yeah,
Watsky LSR.
That's a
towards the
really
end.
the hooked up Watsky LSR. That's probably a contender for at least my top 5.
Oh god, that was so
That's
disturbing.
Definitely.
Probably top 3.
That's why
Hey,
it's tied
yeah.
on my top.
Yeah,
Top
too bad I
moment.
can't.
Yeah,
too
it's
bad I can't do vocal effects like that anymore until I get my drivers updated. I guess.
guess.
The stars already took me. What a great line.
Lucifer.
Yeah, let me just have an entire scene where the focus is on me saying some weird shit. Let's go.
People saying weird shit without any context, best scenes in any show. Agreed? Agreed. Yo,
Agreed.
Blue, thank you for gifts.
Love you, Blue.
Yeah, talk to you later, Blue.
Have a good, buddy.
Rest in peace,
Thanks
Blue.
for sticking around for so long. Enjoy it.
Right.
Enjoy hanging out with the fam.
Yeah, another thing I wanted to, because I think I glossed over this in when I was talking about mine. What I liked about it was I was like implying that all the rest of the pieces that everyone has lost and has all these flaws and all that are still down there in the pit. They're still there.
Yeah. Yeah, helped me
I
sell
was
that.
playing that up so hard as I
It was
could.
so
But
good.
no, it's not just a raging mass of flesh. It's just
That
parts of them trying to do what parts they are.
that gives a lot of
But
context. We're trying to destroy Millie.
Ooh, that reminds me of one of my favorite parts in that encounter, being Tiller trying to shut it down.
Oh my
Holy shit,
God.
I got chills when I was saying that because that's another one of those, like you were saying, Duncan, the character just took a hold. I didn't plan that. I was just like, oh, Tiller's coming out of the wall here. I randomly rolled a Tiller token. Oh god, she's gonna try and kill her. Okay.
Yep, it's those rare moments that you don't really expect. Kind of like, I got caught off guard by mine. I know,
was
that's
so
for sure.
good. I love the
Just
You
like
could
said,
hear
where do I
my
go from this
voice
now?
waver when I'm saying it. It's like, oh, good old Dr. Tiller. Yeah, she stabs Millie. Yep.
that, the shambling bliss, the goose just
God.
trying to hang on that can't get up.
That episode is heart-wrenching still. I loved it.
That's why my favorite is just that little bit of time I got to play as that little bit of Larry in that mass. That little bit of I want to protect everyone. That little bit of this is my job is to save everyone. That he no longer has.
It's so good. Here is a fun one for character backstories. To all players, when did your character manifest their stand? I'm especially interested in Seiko from Miha.
I feel like for Seiko, it would be when she found out that she was trans. Discovering herself, she discovered her stand.
That's fun.
She is very tied into the whole transness thing. I can see that. What, like it's a roll of the dice, I'm gonna take a chance on who I actually am type deal?
Yeah, definitely.
I like that.
I'm so glad I went with that. For my character.
Yeah, I remember you were kind of like iffy as to whether or not you wanted to do it. And then in that goose scene, you're just like, no, I'm going for it. It's happening. And I was like, oh, well, I'm so sorry in advance. I'm gonna detonate you. Fucking Goose being like, this is the most deplorable, horrible shit I've ever done, but it'll prove who I am. Sorry.
Oh, God.
What about Larry? I'm very interested in how Soldier appeared.
During the stress of basic training.
Fascinating.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's cool. I already told my backstory through Encore talking to LSR, but it was during the vampire apocalypse after Lucy's KDA was rising.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Encore, a vampire was about to get Iris, and Encore manifested first. Both Iris and Lucifer were both getting attacked at the same time. Encore manifested first to save Iris, and then Numb manifested separately to protect Lucifer.
Encore's first memory in life being killing, and Numb's first memory being seeing her brother kill is so insane.
Yeah, because I really wanted to play into the whole thing with Lucifer's character and his whole character dynamic of everything that he has done is for his sister. Because also going into the question from KP, what is the unforgivable sin? Lucifer's unforgivable sin was causing Crazy Town to form on Iris, basically crippling her for life, trying to help her. But that's how that's great first memory. Encore with a positive KDA.
Family bonding.
Family bonding.
We're bound by the blood that stains our hands. I'll go get tacos for dinner.
Can I go into what I didn't go into with Larry's backstory? Because I think
Please
I
do.
glossed
Yeah.
over a lot of it, because Larry would not say this shit in person.
Yeah, tell us about your brother. Your brother in arms.
Larry doesn't actually have a brother. That is a very close friend. He has had this friend since he was extremely young. They grew up together. They're like neighborhood best friends. They were always in the same grade. They were always hanging out. They were basically brothers, but they weren't blood related. Both of them joined the military. During basic training, Larry manifested to stand, and they had just finished basic training and were going to, and they went to fucking Electros to celebrate, and the vampire apocalypse happened. And the brother, and his best friend, his brother in arms, the closest thing he had to family, died in front of him, killed by vampires. And he couldn't stop it. He had a stand. He couldn't stop him. So he went to find the next best thing. The next thing to kill vampires. And, you know, the vampire apocalypse just happened. Everyone's looking for a way to stop vampires, so that specialty unit looking to find a way to kill vampires run by the Japanese government seems pretty good. And now Larry's part of a whole division run by the Japanese government that just uses Haman.
Full of questionable government tactics.
And spent the next 20-something years hunting the remnants of Edwin's vampire forces throughout the rest of Japan.
Yep.
Specifically across mountaintops and cold weather climates, because his specialty was alpine climbing before he even joined the unit. And afterwards, yeah, vampires don't care about the cold, so they would go up to cold mountaintops for caves and shit. And that's where Larry lost his ears in those fights. He and one of his friends was trying to one of his other Haman buddies was trying to patch him up and heal his ear, and they got jumped by a vampire during the healing process, and instead of rebuilding his ear that got ripped off by a different vampire, he sealed it shut.
Oh, fascinating.
There is no ear hole there that you're like, you could just put a hearing aid in. No, it's purely scar tissue. There is no earlobe.
Flathead.
It is just a flat thing of scar tissue that has been Haman sealed there.
I love the...
So that there is a because Larry is the type. There's the other reason that Larry did not ever say put the illusion back on me, make me look normal. Larry wears his scars. The scars are part of what make you and show what you've gone through. So he died, he became unbitten. That is another scar to wear.
Thank you so much for putting an actual Haman mistake into a game that really encourages Haman to never be wrong. That makes it so much more real to me, the fact that someone was trying to heal him and then just got shoved and missed, you know? It's so good.
No, he didn't get shoved, he got stabbed, and just the pain made Haman flare badly.
Hello, music. What are we playing?
Vengabus time.
But yeah, that's why Larry wears his scars, because they're part of who you are. So everyone's like, you could just fix your ear and all that, and I'm like, no, it's my scar.
I love that.
I earned the scar. I gotta live with it.
I'm holding back making the joke. That's
also why I did.
You know, we could just fix our iris, you know?
I won't go into that, but
you don't gotta. I just wanted to poke fun at you.
Destroy the point of the character, anyway. Hey, so, Tali, to go
Echelon.
away from that.
Echelon.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, Echelon, yes.
I haven't talked about Echelon yet.
Please do.
Had 14 days to his story in the key. Anyway, go ahead.
So Echelon, of course, Visions was Echelon stand originally, before it got transplanted over to LSR. I haven't really given a ton of thought about the specificity behind it, but probably, not unlike Lucifer, probably related to vampire apocalypse-related trauma. Maybe not the immediate effects of the vampire apocalypse, but probably stuff that Larry was more involved with the aftershock, the hunting parties, and the need to protect his family from all of that. So developing a way to basically conceal things.
I could imagine Echelon just like hiding his family
outside forces,
just,
hiding
like,
his family,
walking by,
and not just like hiding his family, but also making sure that his family has like an emergency route that they can take, like if their house gets searched, stuff like that. Stuff where he can basically tuck away keepsakes away from the government's reach. And of course, this is the point. Because vampire apocalypse just happened. Confirmed supernatural forces exist, and stands are also just about to become public knowledge. So now that he has access to supernatural powers, that's what kind of starts to spur him more into that line of research. So that's kind of like where he begins on that chapter of his life, because before that he was a biologist.
I love backstory Echelon, hearing more about him.
It's a wonderfully macabre backstory.
Right. For you, Tali, here's a quick one. If Mad as Hell had a voice, how would it differ from Bliss? This is from
Mad as
Name
Hell
to Talk.
was planned to have a voice, actually.
Oh.
And technically, you experienced it. It talked through Ancillor, but Act 3 was planned to be able to talk. Originally, I was going to have Act 3. If you had no idea the frostbitten were people, Act 3 would start to form words and try to communicate. This was on the Act 3 good guy route. That of course never happened, but Act 3 was going to be a voice of Mad as Hell, and if you of course empathize with it, you'd get the Good Guy Act 4, which could fully speak, and the closest thing I'd say to Act 4's voice is how the Good Doctor spoke. Like Bliss, but very aggressive. So more of that anger, more of that scorned father, more of that failed scientist, a little more madness. So a little more...
Yeah, just like a quicker bliss, something closer to this. You know, all of what I've experienced, everything I've seen.
A little more crazy.
Needs to burn. Everything needs to drown. I don't want to see any of it anymore.
That's kind of how he would have spoke.
Oh, that's so good.
Talking not to anyone in particular, but just kind of
Rambling.
Everything needs to be
vocalized,
crushed,
breathing,
everything
yeah.
needs to be burned, everything needs to be buried, everything needs to be drowned.
Like a mantra he's repeating to keep himself sane.
That's immaculate. I love that.
cool.
Cool. Radical. Here's a question from Parker.
Parker.
Hey, Duncan.
How has LM changed how you all look at the JoJo system / all systems, both as a player and a GM? I have.
It makes me
extensive
want
to talk
more!
about that. Yeah.
Yeah, more.
I will praise Tali in saying that a game that I have been working on for years now, I now have added a lot more work because of you, because I really enjoyed the freedom of going, I want to go towards this direction. I want to go towards this direction. Instead of me being more episodic in my game, like I was going to initially have it, like I was going to have it cheer up style, where like it'd be and then storytelling. It's now more and therefore storytelling, at least how I imagine it, where players can go here, meet this NPC, and then later that NPC storyline can be moved on, and they can go talk to whoever they want and all that kind of jazz.
If I didn't say it carefully, it would sound a little egotistical, but I think LM, in my opinion, is the perfect form of running a JoJo game. And I mean that in the sense that I feel like throughout all my experimentation, I've finally felt a true connection to the way it's being run. I feel like this is it. I feel like this is how I want to run games going forward, and I mean, obviously, I'm sure I'm going to keep experimenting and adding new things. I literally can't run a game without homebrewing a new thing. It's not possible. But this sure was a confidence boost,
Tali,
to say the least.
I can openly say that I feel like Lord Mortality has been your best work thus far.
Hopefully every game I run is my best work. That's how I'd like to keep it.
Besides meme game, anyway.
Well, low concept is fun, but it's not my...
Yeah. I think... I play games, I read stories, when I interact with a fiction, I'm looking to see how the world was built. What is the world building here? What is the fun I can interact with? How are the pieces fitting together? How is all of that working? And I guess when I played previous JoJo's, no offense to whoever was running for me, but for me the system always was find the weird wackadoo, figure out what his shtick is, and then beat him.
Yeah, I think one thing I hate about JoJo is you're like forced to figure out someone's shtick before you can beat them. In LM, you don't need to know what's going on. If you can punch a guy, you can punch him.
Yeah,
Beat
that's what I'm like. To be safe, and on the opposite coin, the thing that I'm kind of like, it's just again D&D. Nothing's new. I've seen it. I've seen most of the monsters, all of that stuff. It takes quite a bit of digging to find a weird enough monster for me to be like, I have no idea what that is.
Don't know what's going on, and at that point, it's guesswork a lot of the time. Or
And
just
guesswork
like,
isn't fun when you're
survival.
punished for being wrong. At least in my experience.
So it's just kind of a thing where it's like, yeah, I can play D&D's fun and fine for me because I like familiarity to a certain extent. So it's just, yeah, I know what I'm doing, I know what to expect. But to a certain extent, you do have to go plunge into that unknown sometimes. And that's kind of what this felt like to me. It's like, how do I put it this way? It's like playing a new Pokemon game blind. There's all this new. It's a relatively familiar system. You know what to expect with the system, but there's new world building. There's new things. There's new things to encounter. There's new people to meet. There's new story building. There's new all of this stuff, but it's the same basic fundamentals. You're not expecting a whole new like active time battle system suddenly in Pokemon. No.
I think I realized why the beat down the guy's field, figure out his shtick isn't as fun in JoJo episodic episodes to me anymore. It was really fun when we first did it, because like you said, it was very new, so SRN was a blast. But I had never done anything like that before. Actually being able to control the narrative in a tabletop, holy shit, you know what I mean? But like, going forward and actually thinking about it, it's no fun losing monologues when you didn't choose to fight someone in the first place. LM removes that. If you're losing monologues, it's because you were wrong and you made a risk and you took that risk and you knew you were making it. And I love that! It puts the entire control of the plot in the hands of the players instead of the GM, and not only is that more fun for me as a GM to run, because I really just like letting elements spark like a chemistry set, but also I think, and tell me if I'm wrong, I think it's more fun to play.
Yeah, I wanted to talk a little bit about that in my answer. Where I'm coming from, in my experience with TTRPGs, I've never played a system that I've really loved. Just haven't yet. And if there's one out there, I hope I'll play it eventually, but I've never been incredibly fond of D&D, never been incredibly fond of the JoJo system. What playing LM made me realize, it didn't improve how I feel about the JoJo system. If anything, it just made me appreciate more what Tali was able to accomplish within the system, and how she was able to break outside of it to deliver interesting narrative and gameplay mechanics.
Another thing I think.
Simply put, I think the JoJo system, while it allows for a lot more open-endedness, which is what I feel like it does right, it also exemplifies a lot of the major glaring flaws of the D&D system, namely initiative order. And Tali feels very similar in a way that I do. We share a lot of opinions when it comes to initiative order, and it was definitely one of her MOs to break away from that, which I think really improved the experience.
Namely,
so, I'm looking forward to continuing to see how Tali evolves the system on her own end.
Thank you. I think that the system, you mentioned how you've never played a tabletop that you really love, and I think while I do very much like JoJo's, I think it's because, not because of the system itself, but because I know how to manipulate it in the ways I want it to be manipulated. I think if I were to step back and I knew nothing about JoJo and I was going to choose a new system to play tomorrow, I wouldn't pick it. But I think ultimately what I'm trying to do with my games is I really want it to be that you forget you're playing a system. You forget there's mechanics. You're just there. You're just doing your thing. You're playing your character, you're talking to your people.
Less dice rolls, more RP.
And I want the decisions to feel impactful. I want people to get that rush, and if they can completely lose themselves in a world, then that small moment I've succeeded. And even if it's fleeting, I think that makes an entire campaign worth it.
Radical.
Alright. I know I'm talking a lot on this, but I do feel very passionately about how different LMs feel from previous games.
No. What's the word I'm looking for? Continuous. There you go. Yeah, I'm very much interested in further trying to reach a continuous state of RP when it comes to sessions, even if they're not very long, even if they're only like 3 to 4 hours. If most of that time can just be like continuous in character, like acting and performance, I'm super interested in trying to like push more towards that being a reality of these series. Less time stopped to roll dice and figure out outcomes of like interactions that way, and more time to just kind of feel it out, feel it out in character, in universe, that kind of stuff.
I wish I had a solution to the start obsession grogginess, because I feel like if there's an actual like
that's tough.
weak point that I have right now, it's not wanting to play again. It's, oh, last session was great, a week goes by, where the fuck am I?
That's super tough. I am particularly immobile in that sorts. You get me to try to do anything on a schedule, I will begin hating it no matter what it is. You just gotta get me like, you've got to get me in there and actually doing it for me to start enjoying it again. And it's a cycle I have to repeat every week. But I feel as we do this more, as we adapt this schedule more into our games, I feel like I'll get used to it eventually.
I think that also specifically for LM, since we barely got a
Sketchy, no!
we barely had any hiatuses like we've had on several other games. It's very easy to remember where we were, what we were doing, and what our plans were for the character without having to write anything down and having to take constant notes and like keep a diary for a character in a game that we're not going to play for a month.
For the first time in my like life of running games, I think I'm actually worried about my next game not living up to the same level of quality I always try and share. And it's not that I don't think I'm good enough to run it, it's just that I can see a lot of potential shortcomings in the way I run LM with how disjoint is going to work. So I'm very curious to see how on the other end, how I'm going to feel about how the sessions went, about how playing them feels and all that. Like, hopefully, I think it's going to be better. But there's always that doubt that's like...
It's not always going to feel that way.
Yeah.
It also will depend a lot on the group. No, I like all our group. I like all our people. But all of us have a different, like, play style and tempo that we like to play at.
And it's going to be a very different playstyle, so
it's going to be a very different playstyle and tempo with that group than it was with our group, because I know I like to a certain extent also because of who I was playing. I liked things being punchier action, keep it moving. Don't just sit here and contemplate things for 5 hours, guys. We're trying to have a session.
I hate sitting and contemplating things for 5 hours. No matter how like good the discussion is, I think if you can make your conversations that are dark and philosophical concise, they're 10 times better.
So like whenever it was like, so I would sometimes sit back and just let Jared and Duncan just go off and science things in the lab, and sometimes I'd be like, guys, we gotta do something.
I'm glad you were there for that exact reason, because I love
That-
these two
like,
going
you
off
guys
each
will
other,
at
but
least
I
deal with the
also...
Like,
very
the
much
most
got no
literal
doubt.
in-character example. We're going to science this one butterfly in this tunnel, and no!
That was just a great
enemy.
character moment.
That is an enemy. That fucking killed me before. We're not doing fucking science on it. We've seen dozens of these things. We'll find another one.
I think there's also something to be said for a lot of games. Something that really ticks me off, especially in D&D, is the idea that you can take your time and talk. There are some times where you just fucking can't. You have to make a choice. You can't sit and have a 10-hour discussion over what the right answer is. You've gotta go now, and you might make a wrong choice. And that's kind of what I like to have in my games. I hate it when you can have enough time to figure out the right answer, if that makes any sense. I hate people knowing for sure what the right answer is. I want them to be doubtful of themselves when they're playing my games.
Then I go and create 25th hours to specifically game into that.
You can see why I was hesitant to let it happen, but I trust you.
No, I
I
think the compromise that we came to with it happening to be an above board hour.
Yeah,
and
it's a great compromise.
Yeah, that was great. That was
Otherwise,
really
we would
good.
have had full sessions in it, and it would have completely ruined it for me.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I'm thankful Mikey was here to keep the brevity alive that is. I'm gonna miss ya when we do Love Gun, but I'm gonna try to fill in that empty space by doing the same thing.
Being more of a psycho.
Yeah, making more snappy decisions.
Oh yeah.
Radical. Away from.
And also, to a certain extent, about the thing you said previously, Tali, about the monologues and all that situation. It also makes far more sense for this group specifically because we have scientists in our group.
Yeah,
they're
it
here
does
to
make a lot
learn
of sense.
about the shit.
No matter how much there's a difference between a character doing it for a good reason and a character just doing it because the player character wants to talk. I will never stop you if it's in character, but if it's out of character and you just want to sit and talk for a long time, I'm gonna be like, nah. Go. Here is the door. Or I'll start something. Literally, as a GM, I'm sure you'll see sometimes that I'm like, okay, we need some action. I'll pull a monster out or something. I'll be like, okay, we're going. Let's get that energy pumping.
Yeah.
I'm a very flow state GM. I like to keep things on like a curve. Rising action, falling action type shit.
Right.
Have that
away
philosophical
from
discussion
the-
in the falling action. Just let it be the wind down after a punchy fight. Don't just sit there constantly in exposition mode, guy.
Jared, I want to run over you.
Exposition
I want to
was a
run over
while
you and
ago.
push over your chair so bad right now.
Don't
What?
touch the little
I'm
guy.
gonna push your chair over.
He's on
motherfucker.
he's on
alone.
his little chair. Let him be there.
Alone. Okay, next question. Away from the philosophical and more into the kind of creative side for the players, what ideas for frostbitten created by your characters would be?
Oh.
A really named thing, but essentially, if your character was unbitten, what would be their frostbitten form?
Ooh.
I have a funky one for Lucifer. I would like to do a form switch where basically every turn or every certain action it would change from this like steam train of a thing almost similar to how the world is Tell the World I'm Coming. And then it would have like a secondary mode based off numb where they would just switch back and forth. I think that'd be really fun.
Hey, remember that really freaky moment where LSR crunched a guy out of existence?
Instant crush.
It crushes penguins.
Fun fact: they were the fucking what's his face was the devil of the
Whatever
south
happened to
was
DJ?
working on making Frostbite Larry.
Man of War, the giant
Man of War,
jellyfish from
yeah.
the sky,
Man of
drop
War.
ship.
But if I had to, as Larry, choose something, I think I'd do something far more similar to the whale that the good
Radiation
doctor was
death cannon?
building. Where, but instead of being a
Radiation death
radiation
cannon.
beam, it'd be a giant icy sunflower
Oh,
Oh,
you
that
go the
is-
Haman route,
trying
huh?
to gather giant amounts of Haman air energy. So it
Larry
could shoot
becomes a
giant
happy
fucking
Tree
sun
Friends
laser.
character.
So it's a flower that goes all the way past the storm into the sky.
Ooh,
Yeah.
That'd be a cool boss
that's
fight.
an awesome visual.
Jack and the Beanstalk
And
type
it's
shit.
literally shooting literal like laser beams, almost like I'm betting someone would be like, "Oh, it's a giant
Isn't that
magnet
a,
fucking glass being held
isn't
over
that
us
a
and
boss-
concentrating the light."
Isn't that a Bloodborne boss?
The big flower.
I don't know. I don't play Bloodborne.
I also don't
remember
know.
anything like that. I've played through Bloodborne like twice.
Wasn't there
Sounds
like
like
a
a
big sunflower
Bloodborne
guy?
boss.
Wasn't there like a
thinking
big
about the big tree.
sunflower?
Oh yeah. But that's
Praise the Larry.
Not
What about Seiko? What kind of
Maybe?
fates would you give us?
Maybe I'm misremembering.
I don't know. I honestly don't know what Seiko would look like.
I'm not talking about the Erd tree.
I'm talking the Curse-Rotted Great Wolf Dark Souls 3, I think. But as for Seiko, I honestly don't know.
An army of frostbitten
Cat
cats.
girl. Anyway.
Oh, I'm not familiar with the DLC. Living Failures.
idea.
I think that's it.
Notably, none of us is becoming becoming John Lennon. Oh,
Whoa. Almost like John Lennon's a seal.
Oh, that thing. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Peter
Here's
Seal
Seal
any of your
actually
characters.
lives in the South Pole.
these freaky dudes, and they had like a bunch of
Leopard
sunflowers.
seals.
There
in
was
their
there was a scrapped frostbitten that was a seal.
Oh. Fun.
It
that
was,
actually goes into
the
the next question. Ironically, you are very good at this.
I know I am, thank you. There was a Haman-based sea lion, and then there was a smaller seal that was, it was gonna slide along like an ice cube, and it could ram itself into walls with its body. It seemed redundant with the penguins and Tell the World, so I scrapped both of them, but there was originally a seal!
That's very fun.
It was gonna be called Gangplank Galleon.
Gangplank Galleon?
Yeah.
Gangplank Galleon?
Yeah!
Immaculate.
Fucking final boss from Donkey Kong Country.
You would have had the song playing and everything.
Yes!
That's wonderful.
What a magical time that would have been. My heart would have been full to bursting with love.
To be pulling off that, were there any other
that
scrap
too bad?
frostbitten that you want to talk about?
Any other frostbitten that are scrapped that I wanted to talk about?
Does anyone want to mention brief ideas
there was
about,
so
or...
many. Like, I had one where the, like, Isotiller itself was, like, filled with flesh. I scrapped that. That's a very vague idea. Like, there were a lot of ideas I thought about. I wanted to have a cave. I'm sad I never had a cave frostbitten. But, like, you delve into a cave, and the cave is a frostbitten type encounter. That kinda became Watchdog Water Dragons,
Yeah.
but that's where Watchdog Water Dragons came from. It was gonna be, you go into a cave, and it's rattling weird, and you realize, oh, it's a mouse.
We have an ice dweller in chat.
Honestly, I was half
Ice
figuring
dweller?
that the tunnels, that area that the giant supposedly came out of, was going to become kind of that, where it would slowly start unpeeling all of the butterflies.
Man, I really just, speaking of things that I just went with, despite it not being my plan, I totally went with the giant thing after you guys mentioned that, because that's so cool. It's such a cool idea.
Because where else would all the fragments of soul be than the beginning of where the first deaths happened?
The beninging.
And where all the first deaths happened. That's where all the most fragments of souls would be, so just grab up the snow from there and make the giant.
Any others, or we're getting
That's
close
about
to
it.
time?
I don't really have much more.
Cool.
I can't think of anything that I didn't talk about in epilogue.
Let's see. To Jared. Was
Yeah,
Lucy
fucking
always
Carl
covered in
Sagan
scars?
or
Yes. Would Larry have seen that we checked in on Lucy Night 3? Yes. That's always been a part of his character.
Very true.
Let's see here. What happened to the A and B power cells for Millie? What initially destroyed them? Was it just overworking herself to death, or?
No.
Uh-oh.
No, they were destroyed by the good doctor.
Ah.
He wanted to have her on as thin of a wire as possible so he could cut the cord at any point.
Fascinating. Okay, cool.
He recognized how dangerous she was. He didn't want her living if she was a problem.
There we go. What is everyone's favorite near-death experience for your character? Mine is the Voice of Dead Ocean fight. IP sign and cry.
Devil of
That
the
or
South.
Water Dragons. Water
Devil
Dragons
of the
is
South
scary as
fight.
shit.
Protect
Oh, hell
Atlantis. Protect Atlantis.
Yes!
That was like, I think it was like the first point where shit hit the fan, and we were like,
Oh, we were
Sun
so
Atlantis fight was so
trouble that
good.
one.
You got didn't you? Wasn't that the one where you got the critical injury that made you infertile?
Yeah.
For me, it was the fight at the hangar,
Mm-hmm.
getting hit by the lightning bolt. First time that we saw House of the Sky. Wait, what the fuck?
House of Dreams, Lightning in the Sky.
House of Dreams,
ability.
Lightning in the Sky ability. Thank you.
Wait, 99 balls of lightning on my wall ability, I believe.
99
is
balls
correct.
of lightning on my wall. Yeah, that's what they
Yep,
said.
that is what it's called, yes. 99 bottles of lightning on the wall.
yeah, balls of lightning, take one down.
That's what
strike
it's
her
called.
out.
It brings a whole new
One
meaning
less
to
penguin.
buzz balls.
Larry.
Oh, I said my fight with Devil of the South. I was fucking
correct, you
dying
did.
until Circle the Square Lazar showed up.
What about you, Tali? What was your favorite near-death experience?
For my characters, when Tiller nearly killed Millie.
Ooh, funny.
That was me going like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god.
Right, I'm gonna do a few more questions, and then I want to just get into some from the live chats.
Any fight with Ansel
So
in it?
everybody prep your questions. Do not post them yet. I will not see them.
Every fight with Ansler was a near-death experience for Ansler.
Every fight with Murphy was a near-death experience for Murphy.
What do they call it? The rest room. I'm fighting for my life in here.
I can't fight these frostbitten. I'm supposed to be vampire strength.
I'm running out of hot water.
Yes.
What was the inspiration behind Mad as Hell in its design?
It came from a lot of places. Mad as Hell was designed off of what I personally love with any horror, is having a monster that does not look like a monster, but looks like a human if you squint. I really love the monsters that ask more questions than answers when you just look at them, and really the only one that I went excessively into designing was Act 1, and that's why it's my favorite of them.
Hell yeah.
Act 1 is many things. Its head is designed like a sickle or a chisel or a pick to subtly suggest the idea of the mining collapse. It carries Bliss's earring on it to suggest the origin of the butterflies. It looks like a twisted icicle to seem like it sort of dripped down and was grown from something. It carries instruments of destruction as if it were a doctor of some sort. And its design elements, some of the inspiration that you could very clearly see from it. If anyone's familiar with
instruments of destruction,
if anyone's familiar with Wakfu,
I love
there's a
Wakfu.
villain in the first season,
Yeah.
and Noxamillion the Watchmaker, and
Love
a
Nox.
lot of Act 4, 3, 2, 1 design philosophy was based around Nox.
Oh, that makes so much sense.
The Warhammer came from Wakfu, and the sort of eyeball motif that spawned Ways of Dead Ocean was something that I took directly from that.
Dude, do your doctors threaten you with instruments of destruction? Or have I just been eating like too many apples?
You're on their hit list, man. But Nox is one of my favorite villains from any sort of media ever, so I really wanted to just inspire that level of desperation. The reason he's such a cool villain to me is he's desperate, and he's always losing. So Act 4, Mad as Hell, I wanted him to be a similar villain of, he's always desperate, he's always losing. Just to really sell the tragedy.
Rad. I'm gonna do 2 more questions from the list.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm gonna be taking some live questions. So people, throw in your live questions now. I will take a look at them after these 2 questions are done.
Let's go.
And then we will wrap things up. What is everyone's favorite artwork in the series?
That's such a hard question.
Yep, that's why I saved it for this
That's
one.
such a hard question. I can't choose. I can't choose, man. Act 4 is pretty cool.
Wave splash art.
Wave's pretty cool.
Oh,
It's
that
just
one
that
is
he
really
does like
good.
some animated stuff for like the title screen and everything.
Yeah. I do like the little running Millie for the title screen. She's really
That one
cute.
was really good.
She's
I
on
remember
screen
you
right now,
working
like,
on that before I even knew LM was a thing.
I love her so much. Look at
I remember you working. It's like, hey, look at this little thing I'm working on. I'm like, oh, that's cool.
Look at my child. She's so happy.
Mine's actually a tie between 2 Millie arts, I believe. It's either the acceptance art or it is the concept art where Millie is right there and the good doctor's on the outside.
The
I think
Linda
those
one?
really
Hell yeah.
encapsulate. For actual art in the series, it's between Water Dragons or the second phase of Act
Nothing.
4.
nothing can beat the Watchdog Water Dragons reveal. That came out completely left field.
Yeah, if y'all haven't seen the short
yeah.
of that, oh, you can hear how giddy I am when that showed up. Oh, I was.
That
I'm
wasn't
so
editing. She
glad.
was pulling that shit live. In
Oh yeah, no, I'm saying for the
Roll20.
short.
Look at
Yeah.
the guy. Look at you.
Boy.
What's the goo? What the dragons?
That he is.
My
That he
God.
is.
The way I
Jump.
react to car wreck now, it's like, holy shit.
let's
In
give him that- let's give him
concept,
his
this thing
HP.
coming after Lucifer is even more scary now that I had context.
Do you want to eat the child? Watchdog with the dragon? Oh, chomp. Kid
I've probably talked a load before about how much I really appreciate Circle and Squares design.
Thank you.
Where to circle?
You made that thing look fucking creepy. And also, looking back at the art, I forgot how hard this Murphy art goes for his stand reveal.
Absolute Zero might be up there for me.
Absolute Zero is cool.
That is more
Really
like
good.
map work than
Hang on,
the
yeah.
actual fight,
Are we
though.
counting not only just like character and token designs, but also like
Full
map art?
All of the art.
Mm.
How about that Titanic map? Wasn't that a shocker when we first arrived there?
Oh yeah,
Getting
yeah. I
to
can
see
actually
that whole
look at that real
thing,
quick.
like zooming out and seeing it, and like you had all the little details of like the frozen waves around it. You had the light up in the cabin.
Also, everyone's like, I think I've seen that ship thing, and I'm like, I know I've seen it, but I've seen a lot of shipwrecked things because I
Just
like looking
all
up World
this
War II
stuff.
history.
Hey, we never really did much
So
of this.
my brain
during the
was like,
epilogue.
there's
Can
no
we go
way
look at
Tali
some
would pull
maps?
something as iconic as the
Yeah.
Titanic
Let's go
out
look
on
at some
this.
maps.
And then you just did.
Here's the Titanic. I'll pull you on to it so you can look around.
It's so good.
Tali's been sharing with me a little bit of the map design that she's working for future projects.
Oh yeah, I showed you
And-
that.
Cool.
They only get better, Chad. They
They
get
do
better.
only get better. It's true. But seeing this, this thing. Oh my god, what's that phobia called? Like submechanic phobia or something like that.
Fear of large ships? What?
It's like
Being,
fear
like,
of like
underground and getting
large
crushed.
underwater structures or like shipwrecks.
Yeah.
Oh. I know what you're talking about. I don't know.
Submechanophobia. Hang on, let me look it up.
Subnauticophobia.
Subnautica. I think my favorite map is this one. This is one of the ones I had visually just in my head. Wait, I gotta remove dynamic lighting so you can just see it. The South Pole map.
Yeah, that one's very good.
Everything about the pit and the, well, it doesn't have them here, but the bridges leading into the center on the, like, big anvil. I had originally envisioned frostbitten forming on this thing, turning, like, their heads down, looking down, and, like, peering around, and then dripping down, pooling down, and forming for the first times. Like a kind of
Oh, that
almost
one.
like biblical vision of them being formed. I eventually did not do that
good.
because it didn't seem to fit the Larry mindset, but that's what was gonna be here.
That's
I'm
so
gonna get an
good.
idea of how frostbitten formed. It's like little icicle teardrops. You know, just in agony, clawing agony, just kind of reaching out from the structure here in the center. And you can see all the stars below. It's like you're looking up instead of down. I really love the perspective of this map.
That's pretty great.
Very neat. Others?
Weird
Tali is
asshole.
amazing at art. Wow.
I made a lot of artwork. Okay, well, actually, no. Favorite map in the entire campaign is fucking this one.
Oh.
This one.
Ah, yes.
Oh yeah.
You ever just want to go fully on visual horror?
Oh, I love
had
this.
so much fun with this map.
This was so fun to go through with Lucy's mindset.
All the blisses in the room stacked on top of each other. All with different health values. This one really got me.
Absolutely horrific.
Freaking tricky holding each other in death. Yeah, I had a blast making this.
Did you shove me into the 3D printer?
Maybe.
Immaculate.
There's also this, which I think might be contender for one of my favorite maps. Another thing that I just visually had in my head and I had to create.
Oh yeah,
this
this one's
absolutely
beautiful.
not the visuals I was expecting going into the series. Gone full like psychedelic rainbows, bro.
I think
I
map-wise, it's either this one or the lighthouse.
Showed the concept art for this, but essentially I had the view of like, you come in, you see this great expanse, it's like looking out its eyes, you can see all of Antarctica, you know, and then there's the thing in front of you. It's just such a good contrast to me. Love it, love it, love it, love it.
Has everybody said their favorite art?
Yeah, I'd have to say it's this one as well. As far as map arts go, it's so pretty.
All right, so we're going on to the final question from that I'm going to be taking from here for time-wise because we're approaching 3 hours, and I want to get a couple live questions in.
Sounds good.
All right.
What is everyone's favorite song from the series?
Oh,
And I will put the stipulation that you cannot choose your own stand song.
I knew this question was coming up, and I have no definite answer.
I have a very definite answer.
Song did I listen to the most?
I love Lighthouse. That is my favorite song in the series.
It's an extension of you, I'm biased.
Hey, how about that Flowbot song we weren't able to use in the final episode?
Oh, the effect?
Well, not
yeah,
the
that's
final
that's up
episode,
there.
but the final cut of that one episode with the
Defend Atlantis fight, yes.
Defend Atlantis, yes.
That or Headless
I
Princess.
gotta pick
it's a
between
contender
Tell
for
the
those
World
two.
I'm Coming and Warhammer, I don't know.
Oh, that's fair. That's a very Mikey answer. I agree with those.
It's one of those two. I
was
can't
learning
pick.
the lyrics as we were fighting because it was so. I was
Warhammer.
jumping in my
Warhammer.
seat.
I'm a Warhammer groupie.
God, I forget the lyrics, I forget the name, but I remember the tone.
Which scenario by chance?
See, that's the thing I don't remember. Of course, I'm a splitting headache right now, so that doesn't help. If I heard it again, I'd know.
I think the other contender might be The Hounds by the Protomen,
That one is very good.
which would have played during the Good Doctors fight.
Oh wait, no, it's the one that keeps popping in my head. It's definitely Follow Me Down.
Oh, Follow Me Down's great.
That's a good one, yeah.
This is also my first introduction to the Protomen, so Light Up the Night was also really up there for me.
Garden of Chains is a pretty cool map too, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's very good.
Oh yeah.
Do we want to take some fan questions?
Yeah, let's take some fan questions. Let me move my.
I really,
screen over.
really do like the overall direction that you went for choosing the soundtrack of the game.
Hell yeah.
Survival horror plus hip hop. Not a combination I was expecting to like so much, but it ended up working out really well. Especially again with that one Flowbot song, The Effect. Nobody heard except for
I wish
us.
I could fucking play that,
That
right
was-
now
that
so
was
people
such-
could hear it.
That was such a fun song to hear during that fight.
It really, really did make the whole fight so cool.
Right, let's go into some questions. I will just be looking at some random ones, so don't feel bad if I don't choose you. Let's go with Outro Gaming Bros. So is there anything in particular that you all had hoped to do with your characters that never actually happened? If it's something for spoilers for the next campaign, feel free not to share.
I was hoping Seiko could die so I could use my idea.
I had a secret action during the final fight that never went off. That would have been Act 4.
Same.
Mm-hmm.
Mine did happen though. It was the ballistic missile encore, but the exact situation happened that turned after I decided to deactivate it.
Jared, there's one thing that I wanted to happen. You know what it is.
Yeah, we don't worry about it.
So Act 4 gets to show up later. Not on their side.
Something I actually wish I did more with Lucy was when he did his after post breakdown. I was working on his personality changes, like he'd be a little bit more crass, a little bit more aggressive on some certain things. because he was. I wish I played up his anger a little more, because he was pissed. Lucy was fucking pissed, but it kind of doled down a few sessions later. But it did pop up a few times afterwards. But he was mad as hell, you might say.
Let the
The basement fight against Millie is something I also really wish happened, but I know why it didn't. This is one of those ones that I'd been daydreaming about for so long before the series. It's just like, yes, this is so cool. Oh, they're avoiding it. Oh, they're not doing it. Oh. No.
Alistar never figured out he was a penguin.
I was literally going to do that, like, if we got the ending where we somehow were all flying away, like, on a plane, just like we had solved everything and we were flying away, my ending thing, like the last thing I wanted to cut the like whole series on was was Larry turning and saying, "So why are you a penguin?" And then cut. End of series.
Full circle.
There actually was a question I never got to that got skipped over sadly, but if Elisar was an animal, what would he be?
A human.
It's a normal man. We're just normal men.
I don't know. I'm just a normal man. I don't know.
We're just normal men.
Man.
I remember the song. It's
What the fuck is that from?
Oh, it's a fucking.
We're just normal men.
Yeah,
no, it's a puppet.
Yeah, it's a puppet. What is the show?
He's a normal man with a normal coat. You know, he's got a normal coat.
It's the funniest shit. Oh man, why am I forgetting?
We're just normal men.
We're just innocent men.
Shit, you gotta find that clip.
Actually,
now.
Tali, I've got a
No,
question.
I see it.
if
I
you'll let
see
me.
it.
Yeah, go ahead, Mike.
Oh, it was just on BBC. That's what I thought.
Yeah, it was like
I thought it was like a news show.
Puppet.
What's up? What's up,
Tali,
Maggie?
something I remembered that I keep forgetting to bring up is you, at one point, I believe it got cut, but during the wave scene when Millie was starting to remember, when Millie remembered everything, I remember I mentioned afterwards about the mark that Act 1 pit had left on the thing. And you said, "Oh, if Millie had, that's still there. If Millie had seen that, I totally would have done something different." What is that something different? It's been poking the back of my brain.
You're gonna have to remind me where and what episode.
The wave was coming. Millie remembered all the things that had happened.
Oh.
That she was.
And you left
literally,
a
she was
message
about
behind
to
for
die,
her?
and I had left a message on her. And Act 1, when Seiko had reset the thing, before Act 1 got pulled back to the pit, wrote, "Trust your sister," on the server. It's a message to both Millie and Seiko that they needed to trust each other before he went back to the pit. And it would have still been there before the wave hit when Millie remembered. And I remember bringing that up, I believe, after that episode. And you're like, "Oh, I would have done something different if I had remembered that was there."
I think I would have had her be more, something Elisar killing himself, I think, is what that sounds like to me. I don't remember, though. I legitimately do not remember. Dang, I wish I could remember for you, because that's interesting now. Now I want to know.
What would Millie have done if Millie had been
What would she have done?
If Millie had
I'm
looked
not
up
in her
and just
headspace
seen
anymore.
in basically blood, "Trust your sister," written on her own fucking casing.
You would have changed something. I do recall that because it was like in the post. I think it was in the art section. It was brought up.
Yeah.
If it was used, where would you have used "In Hell We Live Lament"? That's a fun question, actually. I really do want to answer this. I think some people noticed this at some point. I'll tell you now, since I don't know when it's ever gonna come up otherwise. So On the Road Again is a game where I play as a bunch of alternate universe versions of characters, and I thought it would be really funny if I had an alternate universe version of a character who hadn't shown up yet. So where does that show up? On the Road Again.
That's amazing.
Does anyone remember Gianna from that series? She's AU Millie.
Oh, the kid, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
The little white goop kid.
I love Gianna.
Yeah, she shares a lot of thematic stuff with Millie.
Right.
Yeah,
I remember you
it
telling me
it
about
just
her.
makes so much sense.
She's basically a plant seed that grows human memories and can touch things to learn. And yeah, she's wonderful. She's one of the player character's kids now. They protect her with their life.
Teach her to kill.
And then another player character did something really stupid, and it's going bad.
But where would I have used it in this campaign? It was a potential contender for the final boss Millie song.
It's a really good song.
It's a great song, yeah. But it hasn't actually been used, so it's still in my docket of things I could use eventually. The themes of time resetting in it cannot go unnoticed. It's about an infinite loop.
Oh, by the way, I posted the clip in general. The thing
We're
we were
just
talking about earlier with the
normal
puppet.
men.
This is. I envision that this is
We're
like
just normal
everybody else in the
men.
party trying to act normal around Alistar
What do you
while
mean,
having a
normal
serious
men?
conversation.
We're just innocent men.
Just innocent men.
Just innocent men.
Right, let's take a question from YouTube. Parker. Your icon's red, somehow I caught right towards you. If you guys had to change your character type / rank into a new character type, what type would you choose and why? I actually have a funny answer for this. I would like Encore to rank up into Hype Man. Because I always
Give
imagined
Encore
him
glasses
being,
and
he
a
was always
clipboard.
very supportive of everybody most of the time. So like the gorilla thumbs up in the background as a Hype Man was always something I wanted to do.
Here's the thing, if I change what I am typed as Larry, it fundamentally changes the character.
Yeah, so you don't have to change anything.
This is a fun question to end on. I see one from Sketchy that I
I'd say
wouldn't mind
spin
ending
user,
on.
but Alistar already became a spin user by the end.
I had a rank 3 thing for Lucy, but I never got around to actually doing it.
I think the thing I would do that I think make fundamental changes Larry the least is change that I wear my scars to I improve my scars and become a cyborg.
Holy.
That's fun.
RoboCop.
Wicked.
Are we ending on one last question,
basically
Tali?
turn into instead of music come on, I'd be turning into
It's just
RoboCop.
kind of a fun question I want to answer at the end, which is Sketchy said, what message do you want to give to the people planning to use the survival horror module?
Ooh.
And my message is, go big, make mistakes, change everything.
Do better.
Have fun. Don't! My message, not yours, bitch!
For your players' sake, do better.
Holy shit. How
that's
toxic could
amazing.
you possibly... I wanted to end on something positive, and here you are.
Don't worry, Miha's got you covered. Holy shit.
Classic.
I've traded
Duncan.
Who? 10
Wow.
gift subs and I'm
Twitch
not
just
even
gave a bunch of
streaming
me
normally?
subs.
Thank you. You're awesome. My
Yay.
message is thank you for the support. You
shit.
guys are cool.
Oh,
Answer
Miha
this
said it.
one, please.
Twitch added 2 more, that's what I saw.
You mean answer this one, please? All I see is the gift subs.
You have to ask that one repeatedly.
Wait, which one is it?
Would Millie break down if Seiko didn't answer her romantic advances, and or how would Seiko deal with that crush if not tragedy of situation?
That's a very character-related question. I didn't answer that because I don't know how to answer it. It's just like, how does the scenario play out?
That'd be an Amy answer. Amy's got to answer that.
Like, is Millie super attached to romance? No, she doesn't even know what love is. I think, literally, Millie being in love with someone was the other person has to realize it. That's how I decided it. She would never realize it herself.
If Seiko had realized that was going on, she would have understood, hey, it's confusing and downright painful to not understand your own emotions. She would have tried her best to help Millie understand it. And Seiko was starting to get rather attached to Millie. I can see Seiko reciprocating.
I think if Millie knew that she was feeling actual love, she would have been an absolute nerd about it. She would have been like, wait, I'm feeling love? Hold on. Let's do this more. She's the type to just be like, wait, it's a human trait? I need more of that.
All I imagined was Millie going, "Wait, I'm in love," and then like the RGB values show up and you just turn up the red.
Millie's hair just turns red.
Like Oblivious can only see blue, Oblivious falls in love, Oblivious gets the ability to see
Bro,
red.
I don't think LSR would have handled that well. I think it would have been like, this is sentience in a form that we have never understood before. We cannot be meddling it with it in this kind of way.
Meanwhile, I'm just like, chat, girl's cute.
Imagine if imagine if Oblivious had fallen in love or some bullshit like that, and then suddenly you see
Babe alert.
her going, "Oh, why are the colors changing?" Her being in love has given her the ability to see red.
That's cute. I like that. That's cute.
What is wrong with you? Do you feel sick? I can see an
This
aberration.
is something that has been
Seiko.
something that's created to act human in every way, but is intrinsically different.
Yep.
Hey, Millie, what is something wrong with your shader? Why are you all red?
I'm experiencing a fanfic.
On that. Is that
And
where we
I'm
want to end, or we want to?
Yeah, I mean, like,
Yeah.
let's say
Okay,
goodbyes to everyone.
And I'm experiencing a toothache, but I don't know where it is.
Chat, this is like the last time we get to talk about this game extensively.
Oh
Are you
yeah,
excited?
legally we were not permitted to discuss.
We can't do it anymore. After
This
this, the
game,
words are
which shall
gone.
not be
Learned
named
and
anymore.
mortality will be erased from the dictionary.
Yeah, like Tali has hit us like this weird NDA. Like, holy shit, like.
Now I do wanna appreciate a lot of y'all because we had 235 submissions and then a few more came in at the very end that I wasn't able to get to. A lot of questions were combined and there was just a lot of here to talk about, but we really wanted to keep this concise.
Can we get a round of applause to Jared for running this so I didn't have a panic attack?
Hey, Jared, you're fucking cool, yo.
My job was to make sure Tali didn't die.
And you did so with flying colors. Can you ask one of the stupidest questions you've seen on the sheet? I really want to know what got cut.
Absolutely.
Please ask a dumb question before we
Yeah,
end.
these are my favorite.
All right, let me go to the original one that's not edited.
Oh, the one that gave us a stroke?
Oh yeah, was Cosmos gonna get a cameo?
No! No clown! Bad clown!
But Tyler, this came from Clown Enjoyer themselves.
I didn't know that part!
But maybe if you stick around for the next series, Miss
literally have a
Cosmos might make a
person
cameo.
Oh. Ay, caramba.
Beautiful.
Ay, ay,
Glorious.
ay, ay. Normal men.
Normal man.
Or
We're
maybe,
just
just
ordinary
maybe, once
men.
more, a clown will
innocent
rise
men.
from the fucking grave, just hang things from the ceiling.
Don't worry, Tali. There were questions about how the Fifth and Millie interact with Nocturnes. There was things about the reproductiveness of unbitten people.
Hell
We
yeah.
had-
That's a fascinating question that I don't have the answers for, but if you want to experience a fanfic, write it yourself.
We're not gonna fucking serve you your fanfic feel. You're gonna have to do that shit.
I mean, I can
Homebrew.
write about the sexuality of the unbitten. They're my OCs. I can do whatever I want. I can give Larry 7 dicks if I really want to.
Imagine.
Larry's not my character, actually, but you know, whatever. Anyway. Millie in the basement. What do I do with the, like, large amount of frostbitten dicks I gotta, like, slap onto people's arms so they stay together? Like, what do I do with all these?
I guess I can replace.
There were questions
HR
that I
Geiger
had to
be
ask
like-
myself that I just decided we're not answering these in the campaign. They're just not like logically
wasn't-
you'd have to wonder what to do with the frostbitten genitals, but like
This wasn't scorn
No.
enough for that. We weren't going full HR Geiger.
yeah.
Scorn.
God, there's just a frostbitten wandering around. It's just nothing but dicks.
Yeah. So on that note, hey, you remember the original design of Water Dragons? Anyway.
Jared, were you ever going to ask me the question about the secret action?
Oh no.
The polar bear one?
Yeah.
No. Anyway, thanks everybody for showing up.
Polar bear! Do
We appreciate all of you. Thank you so much for all of your stuff with doing the polls and the questions.
This is like the last
Thank
chance we
everybody
have
showed
to
up and-
talk about that.
you who are here but is not part of the Discord, come join it. It's fun.
Closing! I want to talk about what is it?
We have a great time here. If you have more questions, might make another thing here.
I gotta go to the bathroom and get food.
That's another one for the fucking iceberg, baby.
No! What happened with the polar bear in 2150, LSR? Tell me, please!
Against both of our best wishes, I'm gonna reveal it one day, but it's not today.
Technically, it's still set. Anyway,
look forward to that
wait. You're right.
technically, it is still set. Anyway, because this was at very before the game even started.
I'll see you
Anyway,
guys in
As
Love
long
Gun
as I
Exhibition.
persist, you will never
Campaign
know what
2.
this polar bear secret action was about.
yeah,
It's
Love Gun
probably gonna
Exhibition.
Probably gonna happen in like a year. Maybe 2. Depends on how my life goes.
If
But
you
it'll
want
definitely
answers-
happen.
If you want answers, you're going to have to kill me. You're going to have to make it count this time.
Alright, here we go.
Oh, hey, actually, I got a question. Is there anything before we go that you want me to say in character?
Cause like I can say a lot of stuff, and like I have the character say funny things if you want to do that before I leave, as long
How
as
did
it's
I
not
get
lewd.
here?
I'm down to say something too if needed.
Oh, thank you, sweetheart, for all your appreciation, chat. You're wonderful. I
Daddy,
didn't do a big-
chill.
Wait, there's a what did you just say?
LSR,
I
can you
said,
please not-
Daddy, chill.
Oh, we were supposed to be late.
You're
Whoa, not
unhinged,
getting
you
up
little
the
shit.
fucking
Is that referring to Bliss?
I am
Is that-
going to actually cut your head off a second time.
Is that just a better way to say daddy? Don't hurt me, dad.
No, don't you start. Don't you fucking start giving her ideas.
Don't hate me, Dad.
No, shut up.
I love it here. Bye, everybody.
Yeah, we'll see you on the next time when hopefully no one else dies. Spoiler
I'm trapped
alert,
here.
we will.
Anyway,
next time.
HMS Cuddle Park away.
Oh, wait, chat, play me a tic-tac-toe real quick.
Okay, I got
Hi
you.
guys. I thought someone just said bye, Dad. I was about to be like, oh my god.
Your move.
Ah,
Wait a minute, quickly. You gotta have
Wait.
to type an L before we get 3 X's in
wait,
a row.
I got shot. That's a brain fuck.
Oh, you lose.
Chancellor draws a giant letter P on the tic-tac-toe board.
Wait, how to play this game again?
Peter.
Molly Gold walks over and drops a paw print.
Hey, you guys have been wonderful, by the way. Chucklefuck energy aside, thanks for watching. We appreciate you all.
Bye.
Bye! Tune in next time.
Thank you, everybody.
So, like, are we still on for that fanfic?
I'm